Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 28 of the Reptile Rejects podcast. This week we got MJ from the Trap Talk Reptile Network and all the all the fun podcasts that go with that network. As I'm sure all of you have probably listened to at least some of the podcasts on that network. So yeah, how are you doing today, MJ?
Good, man. So Sundays are usually my busiest days of the week right now, but I'm good, man. I'm just happy for a new year, and yeah, thanks for the invite.
Awesome. We're glad to have you on. Definitely trying to keep make this a good podcast with you. And yeah,
Sure.
what do your Sundays usually entail with being so busy? I assume editing and all that fun stuff and scheduling.
No, it's all family stuff, man. Everything's devoted to my family. And in between, like if I have time to come in do some water changes, like there's always something to do in this room. And so I try to take care of all that stuff during the weekdays, but like I said, you can't help snakes from shitting in the bowls. You can't help from stuff that you see. I'm very OCD. I'm not somebody who has like a scheduled cleaning day. Like I clean every day. I feel like it just never ends. So yeah, but Sunday I literally devote my time to my family. So shout out to my wife for letting me do this because I said no to a lot of podcasts last year. I run a show every day of the week under my network, so I just really wanted to focus on that and wanted to make sure I wasn't going to overdo myself. But yeah, I did. I promised myself I'd do a lot more other people's shows in 2026, and my wife's all cool with it. And so yeah, man, just yeah, Sundays I try to just keep it to the family and help my wife with anything because we have a 2.5 year old, and then we have a fucking how many weeks is he now? Like not even he's not even 2 months. He's little, and so it's crazy right now. It's a crazy time, but it's the best time I've ever had.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you made it on, and glad that Lily got
Yeah,
you on here.
for sure.
I know Dom's kind of in the same boat. I believe Sundays are also his big family day kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I try to always have it that Friday and Monday are always two big cleaning days. So this
yeah,
way, on the weekend, I don't really need to clean, technically speaking. But
yeah,
it doesn't always work like that. I'm kind of like you. If I see a dirty bowl or I see something, I clean it. Except during breeding season, which is kind of now where animals are locked up. Like I look at cages and I see a bit of piss on the in the cage. I'm like, leave it, leave it. I'm
yeah.
trying not to clean too much, which makes it a bit tough because I'm very OCD and I hate seeing a dirty cage. But yeah, it's kind of cool. That being said, MJ, I'm really glad you came on. I'm actually a pretty big fan of your podcast. I really do enjoy it. I do have obviously certain shows that I don't really listen to, and there's some that I listen to religiously. All in the Tree Tuesdays, I freaking love, man. That show is
Yeah.
awesome. You,
Thanks, man.
Bill, and Marshall is just like that thing. And even though it's like there's only so much content, right? I freaking love it. And every day, every week you guys play it, I'm always there. I love listening to it. So great job.
Thanks.
Overall, your platform is it's pretty cool, man. And I think it's really cool that you were able to do that as a career. So I applaud you and like
Thanks.
congratulations on how well you're doing. And I hope you go on for a long time because brings me a lot of entertainment. So
So, I mean, thanks
yeah,
for telling
it's
me that. I mean, I don't think people. Well, first and foremost, like I tend to like keep a lot of the stuff that's said to me like through DMs. Like a lot of it's just I keep it for my own personal like enjoyment and inspiration, but like also like I can't get enough of the feedback like that because words like what you just said connects the dots on why I push everything so hard and why I commit to it. And it is a career. It didn't start as a career. It just started because I was obsessed with it, and it happened during COVID, which I was able to treat it like a career because I was on unemployment. I got let go of my job at that time. So, but the thing is, like, I literally treated it like I don't think I've ever taken anything this serious. And what I mean by that, I just mean by the dedication and like never missing an episode and like, and then taking things to the extent that they are now. And then I have more plans and like, there's a lot of things that just keep popping up in my head on where I could take this. And so, yeah, man, I don't, in my eyes, I just don't see myself doing anything else till the end. I mean, I could talk about reptiles till I'm gray in the fucking face, man. Like I really can. And so, and there's always something to learn. You know, it's crazy because you've had so many people start a podcast over the last few years, and a lot of them they ran out of content to talk about. And for me, I'm like, how can you run out of content? Like there's always stuff to be learning, and it shows like those people, they're not. They should have never started a podcast first and foremost, because like how are you already at the position where I've already had on everyone I need to have on. I've already learned. So what? Like, there's no expert. Like, yeah, there's definitely like professionals, right? But to really call yourself an expert, dude, like dicey thing to call yourself because everyone's learning. Marshall Mendez, who's been doing this 30 plus years, still dude who's still learning. Bill Stiegel still learning. Gary Scavino still learning. So you've learned more than those guys. I highly doubt it. And so, and if you look at Bill and Marshall, who are dedicated to those Tuesday nights, they're here to learn too. So, and those are just like-minded individuals. I feel like people who are really into the hobby really attached to people like Bill and Marshall and Gary because dude, these are OGs, like and they're still here to learn. And so you can't get enough of that kind of stuff, I feel like, and so just like everything else, like everything starts big and then the real ones start to really find out, okay, this is what podcasting is all about. It's not about becoming the next bar check or becoming a Jay Brewer, because that's not what podcasting is all about. Podcasting is about learning, passing down knowledge, but like good substance of knowledge behind success with breeding. And so, again, not everyone has the same mission when coming up with the Reptile podcast, but in my eyes, a Reptile podcast should be teaching others what we can do to take everything, keeping, breeding, business, whatever reptile related, to the next level. In my eyes, that's what Trap Talk's all about.
For sure. And I definitely see you doing that too. And I know like some other podcasts that like I think were a bit more of a steady stream after COVID, like Phil Leitz's podcast with Roy Arthur Blodgett. Like that was another
Yeah, those guys are
fantastic
awesome.
one that like it's almost like you need, like it'd be cool if he joined your network and kind of you kicked him in the butt to get
Yeah,
him going a bit more. But like his stuff is
yeah, yeah,
fantastic too. Thinking about because he's a business guy and I like that philosophical stuff too. It's kind of also cool
yeah.
to think about. But yeah,
Yeah, because I was never a deep thinker. Like just because I was lazy and just my obsession with things was like music, and like I would go deep thinking on like music, but like everything else, it's like it didn't make me really want to like geek out over. And then this, like the reptiles, is what made me really want to just like learn more and like finally keep my mouth shut. Because as you guys know, I got a big mouth. Like the reason why I'm good at podcasting is because I love to talk. And when you give me something to talk about, you look what happens. And so, but it's actually good because I talk about stuff I want to learn about. But man, like, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that right now. But I just feel like yeah, I don't know, man. I really love this. It's crazy to me how there's people out there thinking like, oh, what else could you talk about? I don't know what else could you be keeping? Like, are you, or first and foremost, are you even keeping anything? And what's crazy to me, guys, there's people coming out. There's people with a reptile podcast who don't own any reptiles. Explain that. Like, explain that. Craig Trumbauer. You guys heard of Craig Trumbauer?
oh yeah,
Legend.
oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
multiple, but he still has reptiles. The guy is so old. No disrespect to Craig. He's a legend. But like, that's what I'm talking about there. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, like, my fire burns hot for the reptiles because it's changed my life. I never thought it would turn into a career, but it has. And again, like I'm coming from a place where um, I'm not used to inspiring people. I'm not used to doing the work. And now I'm doing all that stuff. I'm doing stuff that was always taught to me to do at a young age, but I never really connected dots because, again, going back to being lazy and I thought I knew it all. And, I like to party. My mind was in the gutter at a young age, thinking I was going to be something, which I don't know where my mind was at, but here I am now. And so it's cool that I could finally be in a place where, yeah, I still have a big mouth, but I've learned a lot. Like to get to this point, my mouth was shut. Like I was all ears and just listening to people like Forrest Fanning and all those fucking people that put me on back in the day. Dude, yeah, there's a time and place where I knew like you just need to shut the fuck up and listen. Can I cuss on here? I'm sorry. I don't is
Oh,
cussing
you're all good.
okay. All right,
Cuss away,
so
my friend.
all
We're
right, no worries. But anyways, yeah, guys. So I just reptiles, just like many of us have a connection as a childhood. I miss my childhood to this day. And I like that I still feel like a child when I come into my room. When I talk about reptiles with you, I feel like a kid, dude. And for me, I feel like there's no better hobby. If you do like reptiles, this is the best place for you. And this hobby's growing, as you guys already know. And it's going to continue to grow. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think we've also seen you grow as a person throughout this compared to when you
Yeah,
first
man.
started to now. And like I think even myself, like I was a little iffy on watching your stuff at the beginning. Like I watched a little bit of unfiltered because you had some fantastic guests on there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
no
right.
matter what your opinion was of either you or whoever was on there, you can't not listen to like Ed Marino and Bob Ashley.
Yeah.
It'd be sick to get Bob
Yeah.
Ashley back on. That was
Yeah, I need to
fantastic.
get another But if you notice, bro, Bob Ashley, he's on such a time schedule. Like, as soon as you ask him a question, he's going to give you the shortest answer, and he's going to be ready for the next question. There's no like, hey, let's chop it up about this topic. No, it's like, all right, what's your next question? What's your next question? And it's like, holy shit, it's like rapid fire. If you go back and watch that episode, you could see the look in my face where I'm like, oh shit, like I need to keep going. You know what I mean? Because he's going to sit there like, what else do you got for me? You know what I mean? And I like episodes like that. But Bob Ashley, oh, dude, talk about somebody who's made a career in this industry, but with a fucking legendary name. Bob, and every time I see Bob, he's like, "Hey MJ, I'm off to China. Hey MJ, we're going to South Africa. Hey MJ, we're going to Indonesia." And I'm like, "Fuck, dude!" Like with his wife and just living the life. And so it's a dream of mine. I mean, right now I just turned 40, but in like the next 15 years, man, I would love to just say hi to you guys at an NARBC as I'm on my way to China or Japan. Like, hey guys, let's do an episode when I get back from Japan. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. That's all
Right.
I want. It's a goal of mine someday. So, but listen, I've had a lot of goals leading up to now that I fucking smashed, and the hair stand up on my arms because I have more goals that I'm looking to smash, and I feel like another reason why I love doing all this is because it's keeping me like I'm not complacent, man. Like, there's things I want and there's things I know that are attainable if I just keep my head down and work. And yeah, sometimes I work a little too much, but dude, it all leads to something. And that's why, having those Sundays to my wife, and it's very important, man, because I am consumed in this room a little too much. Sometimes I don't realize how much I'm in this room, and I kind of mentally like fucking, that's why working out's huge. Like, I'm so glad I'm healthy. I don't have any injuries because when I'm injured and I can't fucking work out, I'm a mess. Like I can still do the show, but like health wise, I'm a mess, dude. Like, I just don't take care of myself. And so that's one thing I was recently able to change this year or going into this year. Was, I fucking got my workouts back going again. Not for too long now, but for the last month, I've had a decent diet, which has changed my life a lot. I feel better. And that's all stuff that just needs to come with like what I'm trying to change. Like not only did I have a piss poor attitude and a fucking cockiness to me coming into this hobby that was no good for me, but like my habits, like my eating, and I still partied when I first came into the hobby, and I drank a lot. Like I'm 8 months sober off alcohol. I'm still smoking weed fucking forever. I love you, babe, but just me and weed are just we just get it done together. You know what I mean? That's why I do it. But alcohol, fuck alcohol. I don't need alcohol. So I'm 8 months sober of alcohol, which is great because I'm seeing things I never saw before. Not drinking so much because I was drinking a lot, man. I was drinking like every day. Like when you have success and the money comes with the success, you feel like you can do whatever the fuck you want. And so I was just drinking every day, eating whatever the fuck I wanted, slamming down chocolates at night. I was doing that for a good while. And then when I stopped drinking alcohol 8 months ago, my crutch was sweets. So I started leaning on fucking eating chocolate at night, like working out, but still eating like a fucking asshole at night. And then finally, and mind you too, man, I'm waking up feeling like shit, but I'm just used to living this way. And then finally, it sunk to me how I'm like, all right, man, you got a personal trainer, you're getting stronger, but you don't feel good. What's going to change with your diet? And then shout out to my boy Socrates. I don't know if you guys follow Arieli Max Arboreal, whose account got banned. Fucking unfortunate. I don't think he's going to get it back either. But he's my health coach, my life coach, my best friend. He's always told me, MJ, like, I love that you work out, but like, all that shit that you eat is bad. And so I started looking into it. I forgot what it really was that made me. Oh, I got some glucose monitor, and like, and then I would look at that shit after I would eat some sweets, and like it would go up to like pre-diabetic like type shit, and I'm like, oh my god! But then it would go down, but still, like, I don't ever want my numbers to go like that. And so when I started looking at those numbers, it's like kind of learning about breeding. Like you want to learn more. Like I started like, well, and that's scary to know more of what's happening with you. So then I got lab work done, and now Socrates is breaking all this shit. Like, I got some concern because of the way I've been eating, and so that was an eye opener for me. Scary as fuck, but also like, all right, dude, like you want to be this whole new guy, then you gotta live it. You gotta fucking stop the bullshit with eating. That's drinking was one thing. That's my eating, dude. Like me and food. Ever since I was a kid, man, me and food. Like me and my dad, we would go to Jack in the Box, McDonald's as like a celebration. Like that's how we celebrated things, is by going to fast food. Like, and I grew up that way, and it was like, and it makes me happy. So like, I think that's really what it was eating fast food made me feel like a kid again. Like going back to me loving to feel like a kid. But yeah, dude, we all know that shit's not longevity wise. And what's crazy, my dad's still at it. I don't know how. He's 60 fucking 7 years old. It doesn't look like he has any issues, but knock on wood. But again, I don't want to be like that. And so my health and start realizing how bad I've been eating. So yeah, and I'm just on this kick where like, grind it out as hard as you can in the trap, but you better be putting in the same work in the gym, and go outside, spend time with family, like going down the checklist. Like it's just not all about snakes and podcasting. Because if you just do that, and I just did that for like 4 years, 5 years, not giving a fuck about anything. I had knee surgery, knee issues, and just not caring about my diet. But all I grinded was like podcasting and Reptile, and I had success in both. But at the same time, I was like deteriorating, I feel like. So, yeah, anyways, I didn't mean to go on a whole health rant, dude, but I just feel like that's been my biggest like piece of advice I can like try to kick down to anyone is like, as much as you're working hard at something, dude, like make sure you are taking care of yourself. Don't wait till you're 40 or 50. Like sooner than better, dude, because you're gonna feel better. And that's what, when you're young, you don't realize like how important that is to feel good. But as you get older, you're gonna want to feel good. And so I'm more addicted to wanting to feel good each morning now. And like, all that stuff, because all that's helping the snake stuff and the podcast stuff. So anyways, my bad. Didn't mean to go on a rant.
All good, but I totally get it. In 20 years from now, Michael will understand how it feels to be old.
How old are you, man?
I'm
I'm
24.
44. Yeah, there you go. So
44 and 24? You
yeah. So
son
a
of a
little bit of a
bitch.
gap there.
24, you fucker, dude. That's a great age, man.
Yeah.
My
But dude,
son's older than him. Fuck.
look what you're doing though, bro. At 24, I was not doing this. You don't want to know what I was doing at 24, bro. Like it was not, wanting to learn. I'll tell you that. I mean, I was learning, but I was also getting locked up and doing other stupid shit. So like this, yeah, man. People like Stephen Cush, who I've been friends with since he was 17 years old. I always knew that kid was special. Like, but I was like, man, the younger they are, that they've been in the hobby, the better, because they mature. Like they're not the same. Like if I had this hobby growing up, I would have had way different interests because I would have kept to it. The thing is, growing up, I was the only snake guy. Like I didn't have a lot of friends with snakes. Like I was the only one in my school who had a ball python bringing it. Nobody else was doing that. So, but when you have a whole world, like a whole community, like what we have, in which a lot of the youth people like you have now, thankfully, it's awesome. But yeah, you're definitely ahead in life, Michael, just by doing this at your age. I'll say for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep in mind, 20 years ago, though, at a young age, our era was different. Like, I was into
Yeah.
reptiles when I was young, and I worked in a little reptile zoo and all that, and collections weren't what they are now. It was all
Yeah.
Noah's Ark. It was all whatever wild-caught animals would come in. It's very different. Like, Michael's era now is literally he can have anything captive bred that he wants. And I feel it's very different. And it's all about, I guess it used to be all about breeding. Now it's all about more natural and so I don't know. I feel like it changes every 5 years as to what kind of keeping is the new acceptable or the new better.
Well, I think it's like a
Yeah,
happy medium
definitely.
too, in terms of
Yeah.
breeding and keeping stuff better than what people used to keep, and kind of also learning from guys like Craig Trumbauer and stuff, and maybe like seeing like how he builds his own cages and stuff, and maybe sometimes I wouldn't mind doing a little bit
Dude.
of that, but also still doing the nice, clean, sleek PVC cages at the same time. Like seeing him build those like custom wood cages and putting all the work into that. Like it's like I wouldn't mind having just a stack of those with a certain species that kind of goes well with that more. What do you say, rustic kind of vibe with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's
Those are guys I envy in the hobby. I envy the guys who could fucking build sick ass shit. I wish I had that craftsmanship. I just don't. Like, I'm very like, because you got to fuck up a lot and then do it. If I fuck up, I'm so frustrated. I'm done. Like, I'll like, if it's not the way I want it, my motivation goes out the window, and I just rather focus on something else. But I got people like Focus Cube Habitat, thank God, and I got other good motherfuckers who can build. But I'll tell you what, man, like if that's one up you could have in the reptile hobby is if you could build your own cages, but like make them look sick, like you mentioned with Craig, and there's other people out there, like who could do that. Like I don't know if you follow Ryan Young, I'm sure you do, but Ryan Young is the ultimate goat, man. If you want to ask me who the best reptile breeder is in the hobby overall, the real MVP, it's Ryan Young. I'll tell you that right now. I will go any debate toe to toe with anyone on how Ryan Young, when it comes to building cages, going to fucking into the wild and breeding the most python species anyone's ever bred. Come on, dude. Who's fucking with Ryan Young? Nobody is.
exactly.
Nick
Another good,
Mutton.
other good friend of mine. I'm sorry. What
Nick
was that?
Mutton fucks. Nick Mutton
Oh
fucks
yeah,
with
yeah,
Ryan Rod.
yeah. But even Nick, but even Nick would give the torch to Ryan. Like if you, I've
Yeah,
talked to Nick
probably.
many times. I love Nick. Nick's. I mean, Nick and Ryan are very close friends. Like they grew up together in this shit. So they go neck and neck, really. Okay, I would say the only one close to holding a candle to Ryan would be Nick Mutton, 100,000%. But guess what? Nick don't give a shit about no props. He don't care about no fucking. He don't. Nick has the attitude where he just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And
Oh
I
yeah,
respect that. That's kind of how I was coming in without the like, just because I didn't care to make friends. I was just like, I knew there were a lot of weirdos in this hobby, and I knew there were like a lot of fake people, and I just had no interest. But then I had friends like Forrest Fanning and Brian Barczyk, and then they were friends with a lot of the people that maybe just want to open up more and be like, all right, like don't be a little bit more friendly. And that's the thing is like I've been working on being more friendly shit the last 6 years, and it's a process. I'm just not that guy to be like, I'm just not fake, dude. Like and I feel like I've built something for my life out of this hobby that I love and protect so much to where like just for you to want to talk to me about it, I just don't do it with anybody. Like I just don't, because it's special to me, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like I saw the guest. I mean, I definitely did homework on before saying yes to you guys for sure, because I wouldn't just go on anyone's show. First and foremost, I don't want you to think that I'm just going on a fucking tour of going on anyone. No, hell no. I went on your show because I saw the people you brought on, and I see that topics that you guys talk about, which aren't topics people aren't talking about. You know what I mean? Like stuff that people should be talking about. And so and I want to give you guys flowers on that, man. Like, good on you guys for fucking at least using your brains when it comes to episodes, not just copying other people's shit. Like, it seems like you guys are really interested in wanting to learn, and that's what it's about.
thanks, man. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely like I feel like we could like I could be way better at certain things too, because like it's still kind of new for me at least. Like I think Dom's a little bit more well spoken. Like I'm still like like right at the beginning, it's like I get a little nervous and stuff, and then like once you get into the
Oh,
podcast
that's normal.
and you get into it, right, and then you get rolling. Like the intros, like you're still learning how to feel
Yeah.
comfortable and kind of start with it. That's why like
What number? How many episodes have you guys done?
this is 28, but there's two that didn't really go through. Like Cody Joe's, we had some recording issues, so that one couldn't be released. And then we had Dr.
Yeah.
Woodman, which would have been a fantastic show because we talked about turtles, and then we talked about antelope pythons, and we talked about some vet stuff, and then that one also wasn't synced up in terms of the recording audio, so that sucked too to lose. But we'll just have to get those guys
Yeah.
back on eventually. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
I love learning. That's why I started doing this, because it's like at the very least you get to have great conversations with a bunch of cool different people.
Yeah, just keep doing it, man. Like don't let the little setbacks like that stop you from doing it, because it's like it's making you learn for a reason. It's good that you go through this, because you got to, first and foremost, you got to learn how, like, all right, if I'm doing this, I want to make sure the audio is good. I want to make sure everything is good. I'm not going to press record until things are perfect. That's where things will get at to a certain point, because you're doing them so much. But you got to go through this stuff. You got to learn, like, like how I like the shit that I went through. Like, what's the next option? If this doesn't work, do you have your phone next to you? Like, always find the next option. And so, and it's all about, man. Like, and for you being, again, you being the age that you are at, you being nervous, Dom's fucking, he's 44, dude. Like, he's a straight grown ass man. And like, yeah, dude, like you want to carry yourself as like, you know what the fuck you're talking about. And guess what? You're not always going to know what you're talking about. And that's okay. You said that it was hard to watch me in the beginning, but the unfiltered days, do you think there'd be no, okay. Do you think there ever would have been an Unfiltered Reptiles podcast without Forrest? No, hell no. There's no way in hell I would have had the goal, the balls to do a reptile podcast 2 years into the hobby. I didn't know jack shit. I had an attitude problem. I only did it because Forrest was like, dude, I'll do it with you. Like, I'm the experienced guy, and you're the fucking very excited, aggro, wet behind the ears guy. And you're the one who's not scared about, like, the thing is, Forrest didn't want to talk about certain stuff because he didn't want to piss people off. I will. I don't care. And so before every episode, he would tell me, all right, talk about this. He would tell me the things to bring up because he just didn't want to talk about it. But like, I was his crush, like, and I did it. And so, and then after a year of doing Unfiltered, that's when I was like, you know what? I at least gained one good year of experience podcasting, learning, mind you. Like, you talked about Ed Marino and all fucking, oh my God, Bill Brandt, the guy who owned the Gourmet Rodent, you know what I mean? Like, so many legendary people went on that show that I learned from, where I realized how much more content needed to be put out there, especially with ball pythons at that time. There was zero ball python podcasts that were really relevant at that time, zero. And so that's where I gained all my audience, was from ball python people, because I was putting it out there so much. But yeah, again, I would have never started if it wasn't for Forrest, dude. Like, because I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like, who am I? And then also, like, I know I would have made myself look stupid, which I have. I have made myself look stupid many times on the show. But I've also openly said I don't know. I'm not a know-it-all. Like, there might be topics I do sound like I'm a know-it-all, but I'm quick to let you know that I'm fucking not an expert. I do fuck up. I'm very transparent about it. I'm very open about it. But yeah, man, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have ever started it. I can't ever say I would have never started a podcast if it wasn't for Forrest, but the way this was all birthed into what it was, it all happened because I learned from somebody the entire time during the beginning, and yeah, again, it's all about learning, dude. That's what makes this exciting. Like, just, I want to continue to learn, and there's still so many more things to talk about. There's still so many more guests to bring back on. Like, that's also what I like, is like, when I get a good episode, I'm already thinking about that next time I'm gonna bring them on, because I'm like, dude, this was so fucking great. Like, I'm gonna bring him on this date, and we're gonna talk about this next. Because if you talk about people like Ryan Young, Patrick Holmes, Stephen Cush, those guys could talk 6, 7 hours, dude. I don't have 6, 7 hours in me anymore. Like, I think the longest podcast I ever did was just under 5 hours, and that was fucking drain. I used to do 3 to 4 hour podcasts on a regular basis. Like, those were like my regular times, and people got sad that they weren't that long. But dude, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot. Okay. And mind you, I was drinking during that time, so I was fucked up most of the time. So it's kind of like, yeah, of course you could ramble when you're drunk, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was a mess, dude. I definitely was back then. But yeah,
Oh
anyways.
yeah, I think like that's how kind of like ours are, where they go. I don't think we've had a
Two
podcast
and a
under like
half.
2 hours and 20 minutes, maybe. But like,
Yeah.
we probably should shorten it up a bit, and then it just means we're gonna have that many more podcasts. Because like you're pretty good at keeping yours like the all in the tree Tuesdays at like an hour and a half, hour 40 kind of thing, and then
Yeah,
pushes
two
to
out
go a
two
bit
hours is like
longer.
the, yeah. It can't. My thing is, because now with my wife and how, everything, if it's alive, my cutoff time is 6 o'clock now. So like 6 o'clock, I have to like wrap it up. But then I need at least 20 minutes to rip the episode down, put it, I have to download the audio platform to the audio platforms. And I hate rushing that, because I always miss something when I do it. So sometimes I do have to end it at an hour 40, hour 45. But then also, if we're talking about good shit, like if we got stuff we got to talk about, I won't end it. But I'm really good at getting everything in within 2 hours. Like, that's about an hour 30, hour 40, I'm already thinking about wrapping it up. Because if you notice, it goes like my podcast is like we don't it just and I haven't watched a lot of your guys' episodes. I just saw who you guys brought on, and there's definitely episodes I'm gonna go back and watch. But man, it is so hard for me to watch reptile podcasts where they say something and then there's fucking dead air for like 30 seconds. They're just staring at each other. They go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it's just quiet. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, say something. Like, speak. Like, what's the next topic? And it's almost they don't know what to say. They almost like, oh, what'd you say? What was that? Oh no. Do you guys have anything in the chats? And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Are you guys even trying? And so that's really why I don't ever give effort into really watching many reptile podcasts out there unless there's a really good guest. I would say my homie Adam from Experts in the Idiots, another guy who's fucking killing it.
Oh yeah.
Who brings on guests that people aren't bringing on, and like talking about shit that for him to only be in the hobby for as long as he has, and he's so geeking out over these topics is fucking next level. It's what we need. He's not a trendy guy. He's not doing the typical new podcasting bullshit trend. You know what I mean? Trying to bring on the biggest names, and it's like, dude, come on, like bring on people you can legit have a good conversation with. And it's like, why do you want to bring on someone so big or even someone you don't even work with their species? Like, what are you going to talk to them about? Like that's what I'm saying is like, you should be bringing on people who inspire you, like people who you want to have conversations with, not because you're going to get 20, 30 people to come watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've always done podcasting for me. It's always been for MJ. And as selfish as it sounds, it's why it is what it is, because I'm only putting shit out that I want to learn. Like it's for me. But then guess what? Whatever's helping me, it's helping everyone else. It sure is. Because I'm getting feedback, and that's what I love is people are like, MJ, holy God, you talked about this, and I had the biggest year, or like, man, I was really down this week, and I heard this episode and it made me so happy. Like that, all that shit matters to me, dude. It really does. All that gives me the substance that I need to just continue on. But again, like, dude, do this shit for you, man. Like, even if it's like, man, we only got like 50 views. Who gives a fuck? Like, if you like that episode, good. That's information that you could go back and watch. That's for you. Um, and yeah, that's all. And another thing I'll give you guys a quick, little tip on, man. Do this for you guys, man. Like when it comes to you guys coming up with episodes, like come up with people you're dying to learn from. And I feel like that's kind of where you build your own community of people, because you're gonna get other like-minded individuals who want to learn from that too. And like, oh, like there's been times where I wanted to geek out over a colubrid, and I'm like, let me do an episode, and I got all these people like, dude, finally an episode on this, and I'm like, oh shit, cool. Like I just want to learn about brumation and like cooling them down. And look how many people were happy just to talk about this, and that was also why I'm like, dude, we need to talk about colubrids more. And that's why I was like, I can only talk about so many things. But then again, I'm telling you, I like to talk about what I like and what I love. It's not that I don't love colubrids. I just don't keep colubrids. So it's hard for me to continue to keep colubrid podcasts when I don't have the experience to share, but I have people like JMG, Dave Levison. I got fucking next level fucking goat colubrid keepers who would love to talk to you guys about this. And that's why I started the network, because I'm like, dude, I got to find other people who are goaded by these species who just want to talk about it. And so, yeah, dude, again, just doing things for yourself will really go a long ways in this hobby. Don't try to be a fucking people pleaser. Don't be a yes man. Just do it because it's for you. Because it's our hobby. These are our animals. Like, it's kind of like being more open-minded to how you want to keep them. Nobody's telling you just to keep them over paper towel and water. You could add plants. You could do other things than just basic keeping if you want. It's don't let anyone tell you what and what not to do when it's your stuff. But again, yeah, just another little quick round on that.
Oh, good, man. I think we're kind of like that. Like both Michael and I just we're doing this podcast purely for fun. If anything, actually, we were talking about it right before you got on. Like podcasting actually costs us money, right? We need to pay $30 a month for a hosting fee. Like we're literally making nothing about it, but we're purposely bringing on guests that we want to chat, that we want to do, and both Mike and I are so different. Like he's more into colubrids and boas. I'm more into pythons. So sometimes it'll be more for him. Sometimes it'll be more for me. Like specifically this podcast, I'll be honest, like the reason I really wanted you to come on is we actually haven't done a green tree python show yet. So in the whole time, so we definitely want to jump into that. We also haven't done emeralds. So we're definitely hoping to get into that eventually.
Yeah,
So that's like a big thing. But both of us are purely doing it for fun. The moment this
good.
isn't fun, we're not doing it anymore. Like we're doing this because we enjoy it. If not, like I have my own career, he's got his own career. We don't need to do this to pay for the food on the table, right? So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, 100%. And again, dude, like, oh shit, my bad. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't fun. Especially for the how long I've been doing it for, even though 6 years doesn't sound like a long time. Well, 6 years at 3 days a week myself and not missing, you gotta love it somehow. Like there's gotta be some love for it. And again, like, you got people who have come to me wanting to start a podcast, and I tell them, do it for yourself, dude. Like, just like whatever you're thinking, make sure it's coming from what you want to do, not because what's popular elsewhere, what's popular on Trap Talk, what's popular on fucking NPR. Like, do what you want to learn because that's where good questions are going to come from. I feel like a lot of these people, dude, like they don't know what to ask because they're not fired up about the species. They're not fired up about the topic. So people fucking love what I do because I'm fired up about topics. People, they can feel what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm super gassed up over it. Like I love, this is a career of mine, and so you don't think I'm gonna like it even extra more now that I make a living off of it? Like this is, dude, this is my baby. And so, but again, like it all started with a place of just doing it for myself. I already knew starting the podcast, I was a little like rough on the edges, and I already knew like, dude, you're probably not gonna, like, a lot of people aren't gonna like you. Like that's, remember, I told myself that, like, dude, you're probably gonna get a lot of hate for this because I said I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna cuss, I'm gonna be complete normal MJ because that's what wasn't out there. It was all this like fucking phony baloney shit, and I'm like, why aren't people cussing on their podcast? Why aren't people being adults? Like, let's be. And even though I wasn't really an adult then, I was, but I'm just saying, like, why aren't people just being themselves? And so it really made me want to just be myself. But being myself made me realize, like, man, you're pretty out there. And so, after getting good mentorships and friends and just kind of reflecting after every year, I just kept finding ways. I'm like, all right, I need to change this. I need to change that. And honestly, guys, what really calmed my fucking gears down was when I quit drinking on the show. Like when I stopped drinking on the show and stopped smoking on the show, I looked at it more as like work, like professionalism. Like I'm here to get a good show on. I don't want somebody who has the show on during dinner, because this is what I was hearing. I heard people would have the show on during dinner and then their kids are watching, and then I would pull my bong out and just rip bong loads, or I would be fucking just going on a huge drunk rant and just saying some, and they're like, God damn, I've got to change it, or like put the kids away. And like a lot of people are like, MJ, like, I love you, dude, but I have to sometimes like change the channel, or like I have to like put my kids, like I have to stop it because like my kids are here. And I'm like, damn, my bad. And then also like, seeing how less is more as I was getting older. It's cool to be passionate. It's cool to be fired up, but a strength overdone becomes a weakness. And I was just kind of overusing my strength of being passionate and not giving a fuck. Like and the thing is, I was getting new sponsorships. I was blowing up at, not like, being myself was getting me a career. But then like, there has to be a time and place where, there's always a line, right? And lines could be crossed. And the thing was, like, when it came to like me being fired up about topics to me individually calling people out, that's when the lines were crossed, because as much as like you have good points, when you individually call somebody out, you're going to piss somebody else off because everyone's a fan of somebody. No matter how many people are on your side, there's a percentage of people who are not happy you just called that person out. And I did that for a very long time. And then eventually, as I started calling out bottom feeders in the ball python community and like people I saw that were just not doing anything but handing out stickers and just fucking starting shit, like I was calling a lot of those fucking people out. And the thing is, there was so many of those people where it was like gaining traction. And so, that's why they tried canceling me 2 years ago, going on 3 years ago. I don't know how many years ago it was now, but yeah, dude, I've changed a lot. And that's what, I think, really, bro, like this life is all about evolving, becoming a better person that you were. And that's one thing I'm very focused on right now. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. Like I'm still a work in progress, but man, I've come a long ways. Um, and yeah, man, I just feel like that's an importance to me, is like always finding whatever ways I could change to be better somehow. Because I still have a lot more work to do. I really do, but I've come a long ways. I really have.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like a thing for everybody, even people who think they're perfect. Well, they're obviously they have their own issues with them too, right? Like I think
Yeah,
everybody
God
can
bless those
improve.
people.
Exactly. Everybody can improve themselves as well as their animal keeping in general, right? Like this is a hobby that
Oh
is
yeah.
ever evolving, right? Like your whole heat panel thing is like I've started kind of learning from that too, and like it's like okay, so I'm gonna actually dim down the heat panels and stuff. Not that they were necessarily cranked, and I was already like because sometimes I keep stuff in like a cooler room, so it's like okay, well I have to set that to like the mid to high 70s just to get it the hot spot down, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Fiddling with that stuff, and then now here like Ryan Young with his whole was it jerky makers with the heat panels. I thought that was hilarious.
Dude, fucking Ryan, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, he's not wrong because again, like I don't have that many years of experience using panels to this capacity. This wall has 16 cages. And so it started off with not like these cages didn't have their individual probes. I had a probe in the middle of each level. So each level had its own probe, but not its each cage. And that would fuck this whole wall. Like if you just ran the way it is off this wall, dang it, my bad. If you just ran it oh, are we there? Oh, what just happened? Am I there?
No, we can hear you, man. Keep going.
Oh,
We can
sorry.
hear you.
But anyway, it's like this wall right here. So all this right here was just ran off of one thermostat per level, and there's 4 levels, but it was so inconsistent each enclosure because it's just not like no matter what you're trying to do to one enclosure, something else is going to be off because it doesn't have its own probe. And so it started off by me, realizing that was a stupid move. I went a whole year doing that, having terrible breeding success. And then Ryan Young was the one asking me, like, dude, what's up with those panels? Like, do you realize how much those things are fucking like baking that box in there? And I have another good friend of mine, Mark Bailey, who was like, MJ, where's your temp gun? And again, like I had temp guns, but really wasn't using them, right? And so I got a temp gun and started using it more and realizing like, holy fucking shit. So in the morning, right, what I was seeing was in the morning, this room's about 76, 75, and the panels turn on at 8 a.m. At 8:30, when I go in there, okay, like I had the panel set. I think at that time I had the panel set to like 85 or something, or 80, 86, something crazy hot. But as it's working its way up to get to 86, okay, getting the whole enclosure, getting that thermostat to 86, the fucking goddamn panels are burning at like 150. So I got a key. I hit the panel. It said 158. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like obviously if I go down right down to the perch, it's not to the desired temp yet. So as it's getting there, that perch is at like 93. So I'm like, dude, like this is way too hot. So it's maybe not like that for long, but it's getting there to the point where it feels it's 86 and then it stops. So that right there was like that was fucking cooking my male sperm. That was just way overkill for chondros. Chondros do not need that much heat, dude. They really don't. Um, and that's when I started realizing like the panels are fucking killing me, dude. They really are. And I'm in my room, dude. It's a warm room normally because it's a garage converted into a snake room. It's fully insulated. If I do like right now, it's about 60 degrees outside. It's raining. I only have a fan on in here, and my room right now is 81.8 degrees. It's almost 82 degrees already in my room. And that's with me doing nothing. Okay. So imagine during a normal day in San Diego. Okay. And again, like not really paying attention to my ambient during peak times and how hot it is in my enclosure. So I had that thing happening in my enclosure with my ambient getting up to like 83, 84. Okay. That's just fucking overkill, dude. Like that's no matter what time of year it is, dude, condos don't need to be that warm. So then when I realized how warm my room was getting, I'm like, why do I even fucking need panels? Like, meaning I'm not going to take them out, but why am I using them? So all these panels are set to 81 and a half. Okay, and they come on at 8 a.m. and they're off at 5 p.m. They're also set to 50% max output. So 50%, and that's another thing that I didn't realize that these fucking herb stats have is you could set a percentage on how much wattage is being put out through the panel. And all these are set to 100%, and people don't know that. They just plug it in and just go do their thing. But at 100%, your panel's going to get up to 160 degrees. No reptile needs that shit. That's the fucking monitor, but we're not talking monitors here. So Yeah, I was like, dude, this is crazy. So over a year ago is when I realized you need to just run ambient in your room. Yeah, the coldest time of year, my room will still only get to like 80 degrees, 81, but that's fine. Like that's okay. They do just fine in that during this time of year. Now, mind you, summertime, my room will be 84, 85 sometimes. And if it gets past that, I turn the AC on. But I'm just more focused on my room doing the cooking versus the panels. All my breeder males are on ambient. Condors and emeralds. None of them have back heat. They have back heat. It's not on. They're just solely on ambient. They do just great. I've been running solely ambient now for about 2 years now. Never had an issue. Never had any fucking RIs. Never had any no nothing. And all I'm having is better breeding success. Um, and so yeah, that was a huge game changer for me, man. Shout out to Ryan Young. And that was hard for me to like, because I'm very prideful, as you guys are probably already know. So like when I think I'm doing something right and you come and tell me I'm doing it wrong, no matter who you are, it stings. Like I'm like a little kid about it. I go like fuck you, and inside I'm telling myself that. But then you check yourself. I'm like, dude, it's Ryan Young. Shut up and listen. Like it's Ryan Young, okay? And that's what I did. And I appreciate Ryan's not only his time but his friendship. It's my boy. So I really listened to what Ryan had to say, made that adjustment, and yeah, dude, it's fucking, I love it. It's great. So now basically, what I do is if there's a gravid female, I'll go to her probe individually, and I'll bump her shit up if I need to. Which every female that's gravid gets heat at about 85 at the perch all day and whatnot. So, but yeah, that's basically where I'm at in my room when it comes to husbandry with the heat and stuff like that, man. Like I'm luckily from San Diego where the weather's so good majority of the year. I just don't need to worry about heat. I really don't.
So I love hearing your experience with radiant heat panels. So I'm a big underpad or heat tape guy. I've always used heat pads for everything. I'm saying heat pad, heat tape,
Yeah.
and the more arboreal species you get, the less heat pads are useful, right? So when I got rough scale pythons and I got diamond pythons, which everybody told me you can't do it on heat tape, they're the worst for heat tape and all that shit. I started experimenting with radiant heat panel, and I found out I really hate radiant heat panels.
Yeah.
Like it literally dries out everything, heats up
Yep.
the entire cage. I've
Yep.
had so many issues until the shit you learn is basically what I learned is buy the smallest heat panels, the 40 watts,
Yes. No,
set them
28,
to.
28, 28 watts. There's 28
Is there a
watts.
28? I've
Yeah.
never seen a 28, so mine are all
Yeah.
40.
Yeah. There's
I
28s
mean,
out there.
they're not big. They're like this big. They're freaking tiny.
Those are 28s.
Mine are the.
Well,
These are
No,
40s.
I
they're
think
all.
the Repti are
Those
those the Repti Rad
oh
too?
no, these are vivarium, so maybe they're just different brand, but that's
Oh yeah,
that's the 40 for vivarium,
yeah,
and the 28's like half that size, the size that you're talking about. See right
Yeah.
there? That's a 40 watt right there.
yeah,
Okay. No, our 40 watt is like the size of two iPhones, one beside each other,
Yeah.
yeah,
to give you an idea
Yes.
of the
That's
size. So
perfect. Yeah, that's
they're not big.
perfect. Yeah,
So,
and
but
even
anyway,
that even that size gets hot. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So the putting the Herbstat, bringing it down, and all that, it's been a really good learning. I still hate them, but they work.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing to only use them on species that I really, really have to. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's so. What I wanted to ask you is, you switched from having heat in every cage to mainly doing ambient. Did you find any issues with your breeding seasons, or did you find that all the animals that you've been raising up forever with individual heat switching to ambient, did it cause like any issues? Because like the
No.
animals are raised up used to that their entire life. No.
Yeah, so I had my very first condo I ever bought in 2016. Her name's Mimi, and you should see the way I used to keep her because I didn't know. So I had like four different light bulbs on her cage, and she was the meanest fucking snake ever because I was cooking her. I had no idea I was blasting her with heat. And if anyone has been keeping a chondro for many years and it's never gotten to chill out, bump the temps down a little bit and watch what happens. Okay, first and foremost, people don't realize that their chondro is so upset and angry because it's hot all the time and it's just mad. So, anyways, so I made that adjustment with Mimi, and yeah, dude. What's crazy is she always hugs heat now because she didn't have the same heat that I used to give her. So I could definitely see how she always wants heat because she's used to being warmer, but has never has had an effect on her breeding. Um, And yeah, no, dude, man. I've only seen here's what I've seen that's been nothing but positive. Their movement now, when you actually give them gradient heat that's off and on and whatnot, they move around the entire cage. A lot of times that what I was experienced when I was fucking blasting them with heat, they wouldn't move. They would stay in the same spot all the time. I don't spray them. They would have stuck sheds because the panel was just drying them out. But for whatever reason, it would just in their mind they just wouldn't move. So I noticed when I went to ambient, dude, I saw so much more activeness, like from males and females, like mainly the females. I never seen females be so active, but it's because they're finding a better place in the cage to feel because they're not being cooked so much. Now they're relying on the temperature in the room, and the temperature in the room is going from 82 to 83 all the way down to 75. So they're gonna feel that in that enclosure. They're gonna want to move around. So I love seeing my snakes move around. I want to see movement. It's not normal for a snake not to move. Um, and mind you, dude, I've only had nothing but great sheds now. I don't fucking deal with stuck sheds ever. I mean, I have this one emerald who's a pain in the ass, and randomly he'll fucking give me a stuck shed because for whatever reason I can't explain it. But you know, it is what it is. But other than that, dude, I don't deal with not even with the ball pythons. I don't deal with stuck sheds because how much my ambient humidity in my room is higher, but then also the heat's not sucking the humidity out. You know what I mean? So I've only seen nothing but positive things, switching things to what I've done. Not, I haven't seen not one negative.
Um, so just by curiosity, right now is your cooling season, right? When it comes to emeralds and green trees, are you cooling at all? Are you doing colder nights, seasonal changes? And I'm just curious because my room goes pretty cold, but I
Yeah,
keep species that go a little bit colder than green trees, and I'll have eventually green trees in here. And I'm thinking of just keeping their cages a bit warm. But like right now, I'm at my coldest of the coldest for about 2 weeks, and I'm hitting about
nice.
64, 65 at night. So it's
For
it's
what
cold.
species?
Morelia. So mainly like
Carpets and
I've
shit.
got inlands, diamonds. I've got
Oh,
every single carpets, a bit of Antaresia,
yeah.
rough scales, all that. So again, depending on some species, like the diamonds, I'm going to go colder. But 65, 66 is perfect temperature for everything, and everything breathes. But with green trees, I don't think you bring them that low. So I'm just looking to see what your seasonal changes.
Yeah, so everything's whatever their room is. So right now my room's dropping down to like still about 70, 74 to 72 at night. So when I wake up pretty early every morning, and when I walk into this room 4:35 a.m., it's about 73, 72 right now. And that's it. I don't do anything different. I let that be the case. I have a door with a window on it. So right now I'm leaving that window open. I wanted to get cool in here. But even by leaving that window cracked, my room still only gets down to like 72. And then again, by the time 10, 11 o'clock hits, it's already 80 degrees in this room. Once 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hits, it's peak temperature, which is 82, 83. And then once 4 o'clock hits, it drops back down again. Naturally, whatever, and that's nothing that I'm doing. It's just because that's how it is and where my weather outside.
Where are you
So
located?
San Diego,
Okay.
Southern California. And again, I could get away with stuff like that. Like I'm like we're like a mini Florida in a sense, only without the humidity. We get shitty humidity, but other than that, like, yeah, I mean, I could solely rely off temperatures for the most part, um, with what's happening outside. And the emeralds don't need it that warm either. I mean, they can handle it. They can handle it just like chondros, low 70s, high 60s, but they don't need it. It's not necessary. Um, I mean, there's so many different cycles out there that work. For me, dude, the best cycle when it comes to breeding is feeding. You got to feed to breed. That's how you get a fucking snake to go is by feeding them the right way. Temperatures are all like temperature, lights, rain. Those are all signals to breed, but that doesn't get them to breed. Like those are just kind of like indicators. Hey, you horny or whatever. Like look what's happening. But when you get follicle development and stuff like that, that comes from the food and the time of year and all that stuff, which is normally when it gets cooler and whatnot. So right now, I just barely got my females back on food. Not all of them, because I got females that lay in May, and then I got females that lay in March and April. So the ones that are March and April are just now getting back on food after not eating for about a month and a half, and are paired up right now. Only two of them actually right now. So right now I'm like slowly start to gear things back up with food, get back to that going again. Cause yeah, we're basically fucking, I don't know, I'm like a month away from full on breeding season where everything's gonna be paired up again. But again, I already have two females paired. One of them's already fucking going to work, which is great because the male is a sickness bloodline animal from Bill Stiegel, paired to a really cool Meldism high yellow Biac. So yeah, dude, we're already fucking rocking and rolling, man. I feel like, man, I just feel like I just barely started breathing again, and we're already pairing up. So, but yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome. With your feeding, are you feeding like small meals like once a week, or are you feeding a bigger meal kind of on their regular schedule, just bigger?
Yeah, I'm on the. I try to do the whole like small, more frequent. Just it's not, just doesn't work for me because I don't know. For whatever reason, it just doesn't work, or maybe I just don't like doing it that way. I feed my adult chondros, get a small rat or a wean rat, like a small rat on the smaller side, or a good full wean rat, once every 2 weeks. That's a regular feeding schedule for mine. And then once it comes down to shutting them down, I don't feed them for about a month and a half, and then I'll reintroduce a smaller meal, more like a rat pup or a wean rat. And instead of feeding it every 2 weeks, I'll just feed every like week to 7 days. I'm sorry, every 7 to 10 days. So I still do the more frequent, but like people go all the way down to like adult mice, and like they feed every 5 days and shit. I'm like, God damn, this is too much. I just feel like they just need a small adjustment. It doesn't need to be crazy, but they need something more frequent just to feel like, oh my God, like I'm getting more food for a reason. Like I have to eat this because I'm not going to get it later. You know what I mean? Like, it's a signal in their head to like get the development going. You know what I mean? Because all that food goes to the you know the what am I trying to say here? All that food goes to the follicle development, basically. You know what I mean? It's all important. So a lot of people don't realize how important the food part is. Like I didn't for years until last 2 years. Actually, the emeralds, getting success with the emeralds is what made me realize how important food cycling is. And it's all about getting them to eat a certain way while they're getting paired. And that's the indicator. Like with emeralds, it's hitting them with that one big fucking meal after so many locks. And it's like a big meal. It's really big. And then that seems to do it for whatever reason. And again, with the chondros, I just feel like you feed them regular, don't feed them for a little bit, pair, feed again, just smaller and more frequent for like, I don't know, not even that much, only maybe like 3 or 4 feedings like that, and you'll see them shut off. They'll go like a month eating like that, and then they'll just shut off food. Is if that's what you want. And once they shut off food, 4 weeks from there is when they ovulate. So yeah, it's kind of like I finally realized my system when it comes to like the food cycling, because for a long time I didn't realize it. People were talking about food cycling on the show for years, and I would try to listen, and I just could not connect dots. Like it would just like I never understood why. Like I got that you were doing it, but why were you doing it? And so once you understand the reasoning why you need to do it, it's like, dude, you're gonna see fucking some shit go down. You're gonna get a lot more success with breeding than you thought you're gonna get. I'll tell you that much. I sure did.
It's always interesting to hear how people do it, and just to hear compared to like the species that I keep, how different your food cycling is. Because like
Yeah,
in my case, Halloween I stopped feeding, and nothing in my room has eaten and will eat for another maybe 2 months still. Like
yeah,
I stopped feeding for 5 months, give or take. Like it's a
yeah.
really really long period of time, and my room is the only room I have. So if I bring in new species, I got to figure out how to make it work in the same environment. So in your
Yeah.
case, it seems like when you're doing green tree and emeralds, you could technically almost make them go whenever you wanted if you kind of played with those temperatures or you played with your food cycle,
Yeah, well, as long as they
right?
have a cycle, yeah. So if a female has a cycle, that's her cycle. Like there's, like, you know what I mean. If a female lays in April, um, whatever, like that's what you're looking for to see when her cycle is.
And are you
Um,
trying to line them all up?
I mean, in a sense, yeah. Like in a perfect world, I would like everything to be in a season because I haven't had success breeding in fall. Every time I've gone to clutch in fall, it's been slugs. And I just think because remember I told you my room gets hot. It's a lot warmer in my room during that time of year. And so and I'm not really doing I want them to know it's warmer in here, but at the same time, like breeding during that time of year, there are gonna be some there's going to be some issues. And also this female gave me an RI. Like this is an older female that I got from Chad Brown on a breeder loan. She's a crazy looking Aru Biak from Bushmaster. She's pretty old, but I had her breeding during the springtime with everybody else. She got RI. I treated her for RI. She bounced back very, very good, went back on food. And then she looked so good where I'm like, dude, god dang, I'm gonna throw a male in there. Because I felt like, dude, she looked good. She looked like she was building. And so I was like, I threw a male in there and he went to town and sure enough, she ovulated. So I'm like, oh, here we go again. But again, I think that RI had something to do with like the slug because she gave me the day after Christmas, she gave me 12 slugs, all slugged out completely. And this was again a fall pairing. I would like to keep it seasonal just because I feel like without having to make too many adjustments into confusing things, I'd rather just keep everything in that window before my room gets too warm again. And then also I could just, but honestly, I get bored, bro. Like I like breeding. Like when I'm not breeding, I'm kind of like kicking rocks. Like at first, like it was like, dude, you got 70 babies to establish, get to work. But they all started eating. And once they all started eating, I'm like, all right, well, what's breeding next? Like, dude, when you have seven fucking or six chondro clutches, and then you go from like looking at nothing, you're kind of like, dude, I want another clutch. And so, but again, I'm not trying to say I was being greedy. Maybe I was, but yeah, got poor success with the fall breeding again this year. And again, I'll probably go for it again next year. Who knows, dude? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. In a sense, I could breed all year round if I wanted to. I could, and if I want something to go, it doesn't matter the time of year. But again, I always consider their cycle. Like if they're a girl who goes in April, I'm not going to pair them in June. You know what I mean? I'm just going to wait till that next year comes around because I would like to keep her in her cycle. Um, but then also you hear girls that go sooner or later from the year before. It's so different, man. I feel like especially when you rely on your own ambient and your weather, like it all depends on the weather outside. So they're not all going to cycle the same exact time of year. It might be a month later sometimes, or it might be a month sooner. You don't know, which is probably why ultrasounding is a smart idea. But I feel like ultrasounding takes the excitement and the fucking like anticipation away. Like yeah, like it's cool to know there's follicles, but I'd rather just see an ovulation and be like, yes, like it's almost like sneaking at your presents for Christmas. And it's like, dude, like, nah, like let's just wait to see what you get. You know what I mean? But again, it's very vital too to know how to ultrasound. And so that's one bridge I've been trying to cross for, I don't know, a long time. But I'm like, dude, are you really going to use the ultrasound? Like, are you going to really do it? I feel like it's just going to collect dust in the corner. Like, I really do.
It's a nice tool if you know how to use it and if you
Yeah.
need it. Like it all depends on if you it's a species you breed often enough. Eventually, you can breed your animals without needing it. I've never owned one, never used one, never seen a person use one.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a waste of money for me. But if I got into a new species, I'd probably take the help. I'd try it. I mean, why not,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
So
it can't hurt to know how to ultrasound. Like, more power to you. I'm just so busy with life. I just like to sit down and fucking learn that shit. It's gonna take time, and then I'm gonna need help too. Like, all right, hold this chondro and stuff like that. My wife's not gonna hold no chondro. Like, she loves what I do, but not that much. She's not getting bit. Her goal is to never get bit by a snake. That's her thing. She's like, I never want to get bit by a snake. I'm like, all right. And so
maybe you should look at like ultrasounding like a skill right in our hobby, like just for example probing a snake, right? How many people
yeah,
do I know that have tons and tons of animals and can't probe their own snakes? And it's like one of those
yeah,
things, once you do it you get better and better, and eventually you do it all the time and it's a joke. It takes a few seconds, you don't worry about it. Maybe that's how you should see ultrasounding, right?
yeah.
Although I'll
Yeah, but
sorry, no, go for it.
the ultrasound I want is $4,000 too. I'm a fucking bougie
Yeah.
individual, so it's like every time I go to getting an ultrasound, I want to get the Butterfly Ink one, which is like completely wireless. It connects to your phone, but you need a membership that's an extra thousand. But it's stupid. So I know there's other examples out there that are like a lot less. They're like $2,000, but then it's like, dude, I could do so much more with that $2,000. So it's like it's just, I guess I don't want to say I'm cheap, but I'm just not that invested to wanting to learn an ultrasound yet. And I feel like I'm just hurting myself because you're right. It's an added skill that I feel like every keeper should want. Like you should be like, yeah, I know how to ultrasound. That's a
So
flex. I think that's
how
awesome.
many neos did you produce this year?
How many what?
Neos, green trees.
Emeralds and or just chondros?
Doesn't matter. 70,
79.
80. Okay, so
Se-
79. Do you know how
yes.
much your ultrasound is the cost of two Neos?
Yeah, I mean, wait, what? Two Neos? Yeah, well, it depends on the locality, right? We're talking BX, and yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I get it. Yeah, I just know myself. I just, again, I would need to like have someone to help me, like ultrasound, like because you just can't ultrasound a chondro by yourself. I mean, I could learn on a ball python. I'm just finding excuses, bro. Honestly, I should get one. I really should, and just say I have it and be like, yeah, I don't use it, but there it is, and I know how to use it. And there you go, guys.
Rent it out to other people.
Oh yeah, no shit, no, yeah. Fuck.
I'd love to borrow somebody's and just try it for a weekend, just give it a shot, just to see how it goes. Right? To me, it's just like fun, and I mean, I guess it's different for you and I, right? Because I produce a lot of babies, and then the babies I produce, then I use that snake money to buy more expensive snakes. Or like this year, I probably spent about 4 grand in herb stats, and that was my big investment this year. And every year I spend more on something else that I decide to upgrade my room. But my snake money is literally just used as snake money, right? In your case, I'm telling you, use that money to buy an ultrasound, but that money's also paying your mortgage, paying your bills,
No, I mean
buying your
honestly,
wife a nice ring.
yeah, I mean, no, man. What my condo money bought for me this year was fucking like 50 grand in house upgrades. We did a bunch of shit to the house, which my wife was like, "Holy shit!" But I'm like, "Yeah, well, fucking, that was worth it to me." Was being able to like upgrade shit to my house. We bought a new fucking car, like a new sick ass dad mobile. You know what I mean? Which to fit my two kids and my wife. And I did splurge a little bit on some. Well, actually, no, dude. I only bought one snake. I only bought one snake this year with my chondro money. And of course, it was a $14,000 snake, but bought that shit. And so, but yeah, dude. I mean, you're right. I mean, a lot of everything that you see here, these cages, even though they're a sponsor of mine, still cages I had to pay for. This wasn't all free, but all this came from ball python money, all of it. Um, and this was the first year I actually made chondro money, and it was a lot, but it was my first year after 7 years of breeding chondros. I actually fucking made chondros I could sell. Um, and what's crazy is like you would think I would go ape shit on buying more chondros, but dude, I held back out of the set. So 70 perched, and then we ended up establishing and living at the end of the day were 63, and out of the 63, I held back 36. So I have 30 fucking six like really crazy looking chondros that I'm so excited to hold back. Like I was my own best customer this year. Like I bought a lot of my own shit in a sense. You know what I
But
mean?
those holdbacks are your holdback for a year or two, right? In 2 years, you're going to be like, yeah, I can let go a couple. Maybe you'll let go 25%. There's no
I'll have
way
the
you're
option.
raising another 36.
There's exactly if I'm still breeding, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Like obviously, like
Damn.
the longer you hold them back, the more you realize what you need to hold back and what you could let go of. And so I call it the Dave D method. Dave D does not sell anything that's at least fucking like 20 to 24 months old. Like it's like 2 years old already. And I feel like, okay, that like first and foremost, the animal looks amazing at that age, but then you have an idea of what direction it's going to head. And you feel more comfortable pricing it. You feel more comfortable like letting it go if you don't want it. So, and again, dude, like as much as I'm blessed with what I did with the chondros this year, I did not rely on this chondro money. I didn't need it. It wasn't something I was like, oh my God, like I gotta, like my mortgage is still paid without chondro money, 100%, easily too. Let me just add, okay. So this wasn't never anything that was like something I needed to do to sustain. If I would have had a terrible year this year with chondros, guess what? I'm still breeding chondros. Like chondros are never gonna leave what I do because it's what I love. And I went 7 years of failing. So what the fuck's another 7 years? Bring it on. I don't care. I have other avenues on get that gets me money, which I hope people understand that. Like I don't get money all from breeding, not even a little bit. I've gotten consistent money from ball pythons over the last 5 years. Not all the same, but it's gone down obviously a little bit, but still been able to pay a lot of my shit off with ball pythons. And then of course, the network, yeah, and that's kind of where it's at. But yeah, again, man, very blessed with the year I had, but we're already like, that's already behind me now, man. I'm already focusing on this year. Um, and yeah, dude, you're right. As we get closer, that 35 will slim down. Like I can't, I mean, because I would need my own fucking, I would need a whole nother room. You know what I mean? And that's why also like I'm letting go of some of the ball python racks that I have, and you know, not fully, but I have a friend of mine who lives 20 minutes away from me, which I kind of like got into this with back in the day, and he wants to pursue all my ball python stuff. So we're gonna be a 50-50 partner on that. But man, once I get that whole fucking wall space, dude, I could probably keep a lot of that shit back if I wanted to, because I'm gonna dedicate that whole wall to fucking raise ups and whatever I gotta fucking put over there. You know what I mean? So I'm working on creating enough space, which is still a lot easier said than done, to where it doesn't matter how many shit I hold back, I can hold it back. But there's always going to be a time and place where, like, all right, you know, you can't keep this many at this age, so you got to figure it out. So but I like being under that kind of line of work where I'm raising something to either sell it or keep it. But also, like, I'm enjoying raising it, I'm getting the experience, seeing how they change, and all that stuff. So it's not a rush. You know, I still sold 28 chondros, which I felt like was very happy. I mean, it's a lot of chondros in my book, you know. So, you know, again, I'll wean off a little more, but now I have the ones I truly wanted to hold back, and I just want to see grow. They're already, so most of them are starting to change right now, and it's like, dude, and that's all content, bro. I get to fucking put all that shit out on Morph Market vlogs. I get to like blast it everywhere. Like, that's all gonna help my name in the chondro game, is all that work, you know, like, versus just selling it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, anyone. I mean, I can't say anyone could sell because not everyone could sell, but you know, versus just getting it out of your collection, which is cool to see other stuff grow in people's collection, but you should want to keep a lot of your own work too. And I feel like that's a huge passion of mine, is like, you know, like working pure BX stuff. I only have one crazy pure BX pairing I'm pursuing because it makes really high yellow red neonate pure BX, like my snake fish. So I'm trying to prove that line of high yellow. And so I gotta hold a lot of that stuff back. I gotta redo that pairing like 2-3 times and stuff like that. And so, you know, I got to consider room for projects like that and whatnot. So yeah, man, that's another reason why I'm so excited about the future, is because I know what I want to work with. I know what my bread and butter is, you know, and I just got to just continue to have success, and then the success will lead to bigger things. You know, I already have a plan on expansion. If I need to really expand this fucking room, I could do it. It's going to cost a lot of money, but like, again, like, I already have a plan for that. So yeah, dude, I got goals for the next 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I got 5-year goals, man. And that's what really keeps me like fucking grounded and motivated, is having those kind of goals, you know, just very pumped up.
Just by curiosity, so have you reached your maximum on clutches? So I know I've had some pretty successful years, and I've learned that my maximum is about 100 babies. As soon as I have
Mm,
more than 100 neos, I get really overwhelmed. I think my biggest year was 14 clutches, and I had 140 some babies, and it sucked, man. I
wow.
wasn't happy. It was way too much work. It surpassed my maximum. So you had 7 clutches, 79, 89 babies, something like that.
Well,
What's your max?
that doesn't include ball pythons. I had 14 ball python clutches too. So
Okay, so what's have you reached your max, or what do you think is your
no,
max? Wait,
definitely my max. I don't even know what my max is, but my next goal is 100. I want 100 chondro babies. The emeralds, I don't really have because the emeralds, I'm just so thankful to finally have one litter. I'm just kind of like, I just want another litter. Like, that'd be cool, but I don't have like a fucking crazy number in mind. I just know the fact that I got to 70 with chondros. I want to let's get 100. And then I think 100 is where I could be like, yo, like if the chondro gods were to come down, like, MJ, do you want 100 or 150 this year? I would be like, dude, I'm cool with 100. Like, 100 sounds like, because you're right, 70, dude. 70 leading into feeding, not knowing what I was really going to be prepared for, was stressful. Like, I was so stressed to approach feeding trials with not knowing how they're going to eat, but the prolapse situation, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to get. And so, but then once all that started going down and like systematically working, I felt better. Like, I was like, I felt calmer to where I was like, dude, now I want more. And it wasn't too much longer after these were hatching to where I wanted more. But I think in a perfect world, like, 100, man. I think 100. The thing is, I can't even tell you 100 every year. I think I just want to hit 100 once. And I think my happy medium would be like what I hit this year, like 60-ish babies. Like, 60-ish babies is so attainable for me. That's like perfect. Like, I feel like, um, but again, like, I can handle more. Like, yeah, I can handle more.
Yeah, I think because Dom works like 60 hours a week away from his room. That's definitely
Yeah,
why it's
see.
also more of his a bigger stress. Because like Shan has a lot more animals, but I assume he's probably not working as much as Dom, or he's just a little psychotic.
Shan works more hours than me. I work 40 hours a week, but he's probably around 50 or so. So he actually works more than me. But I don't know. I like having a life outside of the reptiles. Don't get me wrong. My reptiles is like it's my sanity, right? It's where I go just to be happy and to forget everything else. But when it's feeding season, when you have to get all those babies going, when you need to open, like people don't realize, like opening 100 tubs, feeding 100 babies is a 3 hour job, like 3 to 4 hours. Like it's insane. Or
Yeah.
cleaning all those baby tubs in a row. Holy shit, it's time consuming. So to
Yeah.
me, like I find that time of the year stressful. Like it's too much. And like this time of the year now, I literally have nothing to do. Half the cages are empty because everything's paired up. So I have nothing's been fed in forever. Nothing's pooping. Like it's like there's a section of the year that's too busy, a section of the year that's not enough almost.
Well, see, right now it's
So
most exciting for me because they're all changing. There's, one thing about chondros is they're OCC. They have the best OCC fucking experience in the game, I feel like, and so it's very exciting for me right now. I mean, and I got to tell you, it to have fucking those babies all in the rack, dude. I Even though it was like 3 in the morning feedings, I was still so excited to go. I'm just so excited that I got these chondros, man. And so, and again, I don't, man, I feel like that's kind of why I feel like there's really no limit because I love this shit so much. Where I never even imagined I would get to this point breeding chondros, and then also getting to the point where establishment went the way I wanted to go, and then I was able to sell what I wanted to sell pretty quickly. Yeah, dude, it's just I'd love it even more now. It's work, but again, like I don't have like this is my job. This is my career, podcasting and breeding. So fucking for me, dude, it's yeah, it's different for a lot of other people like yourself, Dom, and people who have like Marshall Mendez has a crazy career. Like he has a fucking crazy job, and he's been doing that for years now. And so I'm just also very blessed to like commit to this as a full-time job, but also why I take it so serious too, because I really do this. Like this is what I do for a living. So if you do something for a living, you should be good at it. I feel like so.
After 7 years of keeping conjures, have you kind of and now finally hitting that stride breeding? Are you getting in the groove for getting the babies going and all that? Obviously, like you've gone through that
Yeah.
the chicken liver thing and finding out that that's
Hmm.
maybe good for a couple meals, but not long term. But have you kind of gotten into a groove with that, or do you not want to
Yeah,
jump to that?
feeding. Yeah, I mean,
just
if there's
before,
that. Go ahead.
sorry, just before you answer the liver, I think you mean chicken gizzard. Can you explain what the issue is with the chicken gizzard? I'd be curious to
It's
just
higher.
hear a bit about
It's
it.
high. It's high on. It's really high on iron. So, like it's just something where if you overdo it, you're going to see something happen to the animal. Like we were talking about on the show. Like there's a bit of a fucking neurological or not even neurological. Like something with the body development gets weird, and you see something. And I mean, it's all anecdotal. We don't know for sure, but we're thinking it has to do with the high iron into that's in it. So it's just something where, like, dude, if you need to get something to kickstart it, perfect. Go chicken gizzard, but don't keep it on chicken gizzards. Like, hurry up and switch it up. You know what I mean? And if you are assist feeding, don't just assist feed chicken gizzards. Maybe switch it up. Like, go to a mouse head, chicken gizzards every now and again. Like, go back and forth. So that's all that is there. And I just want to say for the record, I've been keeping chondros for over 10 years now. So I just was breeding for 7. So but anyways, yeah, so yeah, we were talking about the what have I learned, or like what am I comfortable with, like a first approach wise?
Uh,
Or what
I
do you
don't
mean?
know. I
Like
guess
you're
you're
talking about feeding, right?
yeah, maybe like you're feeding it slash like I guess workflow with it, or I don't know. I find with some things you kind of know like the little things you got to do to kind of get babies
Yeah.
intrigued. But then sometimes you try that and it doesn't work with this clutch, and it works with a different clutch kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Every baby's different. So I have a first approach with everything. Like everything has the same approach. And then if something isn't eating, I go to a next approach. And whatever did eat stays to that approach. And the first approach is really, really hot ASF pinky, um, and chick down, no matter what. People have had success with no chick down, but I've had more results with the chick down with not the chick down. So if one isn't eating it with the chick down, that next time around, no chick down. Because I've also had baby condos prefer no chick down, but majority of them prefer the chick down. So I always start with the most preferred, and then I adjust from there. And let's say whatever isn't eating an ASF pink with or without the chick down, I go down to the next step, which is maybe a mouse pink. I'll try different species of rodent, which is a mouse. I'll go to like a hot pink or something, or I'll try to get something even smaller. Because the smallest one you can get is a hot pink mouse. Like a mice, hot pinks are tiny, you know. So I'll go that route. Which I learned this year was it worked a lot. Like I realized like my first three clutches, all fucking great eaters. And then once I got into the designer stuff, I had some troubled ones. And most of the calico ones that weren't eating just didn't want ASFs for whatever reason. And my buddy Juan from Life's Rad Chondros, he was like, "Hey MJ, like I ended up taking some of the problem feeders to his house because he only lives like 10 minutes from me. And so I was like, "Hey, I got like seven calico feeders. Can I bring like three over to your house? Let me just see if it's the environment." I just wanted to think of something, you know. So I took him over there, and he got them all to eat the very first night. And he offered them mice pinks, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I ordered mice pinks from Lane Labs. They showed up. I gave them to the picky ones I had. They all took it, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" And this was like after already 2 months of trying to figure them out, and they all took a mouse over ASF. And mind you, I tried to give them an ASF the next feeding. They didn't want it. They took the mouse. They took the mouse like 4 times in a row until they're now on ASFs. Um, and I was like, "Fuck!" So I just realized there's should always be a list, you know, and there should always be a toolbox full of things that you could resort to when needing to figure ones out. And so yeah, I've realized that some of the funny eaters this year didn't even want ASF; they just wanted a mouse, and now they take ASFs. And so when it goes from mice to where they don't want nothing to do with mice, I go to button quail. Button quail was to this year to even this year was a huge um, tool for getting some of these things to eat. Some of them went crazy over button quail, um, and then there was maybe only like I said, 5 or 6 that really needed assistance that were just fucking they would either strike, run for the hills. I didn't get any shy ones. Like there were none of them being shy. They were just acting like psychotic strikers that just weren't rapping. And so which is good. I mean, you want strikers versus not striking. I'll tell you that much. So,
Do you think
but
that's
yeah,
do you think that's because of the time of day you're offering? Like you've kind of figured out a better time of
oh
day,
no,
or no?
I do all yeah. So if something isn't eating at 3 a.m., I'm trying at 8 a.m. and then I'm trying at noon and then I'm trying at 5. I'm not the same day because I feel like that's overkill. But sometimes I will too though, because I've noticed there's been ones that I've tried feeding at 4 a.m. and I go at 5 p.m. and I open the tub and they look at me like they're hungry. And I'm like, whoa. And so whenever I would see that, I would go thaw something out right away. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't fuck around. Anytime I saw, and dude, this happened a lot at nighttime. Like after a podcast, I just obsession again, right? Checking all the babies. And I would just check on them. And some of the ones that weren't eating would act hungry at a certain time during the day. So you just have some that don't want to eat early in the morning. You don't have some that want to eat in the daytime. You don't have some that don't want to eat. You just got to figure out what time of day they want to eat at. Um, and that was another thing of establishing is like some of these didn't want to eat at the same time as the others. And you just have to pay on you again, like thankfully doing this for a full time. I'm in this room 24/7, dude. So I'm always checking. I'm always constantly like fucking on top of it. And I feel like there's another reason why I had such success with my establishment is because I was on top of it, like all over it. You know what I mean? I didn't go to a job for 10 hours and then come home. I'm here, you know? And so when you're here, you could do something about it. And so I stepped in, I feel like when I needed. And yeah, you just gotta have your toolbox ready, man. I mean, what's crazy is like I thought my secret weapon to getting chondros established was gonna be crested geckos. So I've been breeding crested geckos like a fucking maniac for the last year. You know how many crested geckos I have in my freezer right now, bro? I have so many. But guess what? I only had maybe one or two took a crested gecko this year out of all 63. Um, which again, fuck, dude. I thought I was gonna be running out of crested geckos. I really was, but no, I'm very happy on how things went.
Yeah, it's another tool in the tool belt, right? So just by curiosity, so when you're feeding your babies, let's say it's your first feeding, you're feeding 30 or so. Are you unthawing 30 ASF pinks? Are you unthawing 15? So, and the reason I want
Yeah.
to go there is, are you using that same pink? Let's say you're offering baby number one. strikes at it 3, 4 times. You've wasted 4 or 5 minutes. You're like, he's not eating. You're closing it up. What are you doing with that pink? Are you going to the next one?
Yeah, 100%. They're all. I mean,
Okay.
they're all the same. They're all from the same clutch. I mean, I'm a pretty biosecurity individual where, like, they all have their own forceps. Like their forceps is their forceps, and so I always, yeah, I don't give a shit. I mean, obviously, I think one thing I wouldn't refeed is if it drops in the water, or like, let's say it doesn't take and it's left there overnight. I'm definitely not going to refeed it then. But if I'm there and like it's just looking at it, strikes at it, doesn't eat it, then yeah, I'll just go to the next one. But mind you, depending how it looks, some of these things strike to where these things look fucked up, and it's like, all right, you're wasted. And it just depends on the look of the prey. But yeah, it's very unusual where a prey item needs to be thrown away because the other chondro didn't eat it or whatever. I can understand to be safe, but I mean, these things were all born together. I'm not worried about any kind of contamination within this clutch. Now, I wouldn't take that to, okay, like let's say I was trying to feed this male right here a rodent, right? And I'm like, oh shit, all right, you didn't eat it. Let me go to this fucking clutch that just hatched out. Like I don't that's different. You know what I mean? If it's from the same clutch, I'm not. I'll pass that rodent to the next one if that's the case. But yeah, I'm definitely thawing out. I thaw out the exact number that I'm shooting for, especially if it's establishing, because the majority of the time not all of them are going to eat, so you'll have extras for the most part. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I do. So I thaw them all out.
No, cool. I was just curious because I kind of do the same thing. I actually have no problems going from one clutch to another if they're all brand newborn because I figure they're all born
Yeah,
and they should technically all be, let's go with Nido, for example. They should all be Nido free if they're brand new, right? But with anything else than a Neo, I don't like doing. Like, I'm not going to go feed a 2-year-old a rat, and if he refused it, then go offer it to the next animal, right? Or if he bit into it or left it overnight, shit like that. Like, to me,
yeah.
I'm wasting some larger praise, but for the little ones, I was just curious. I'm always curious to see if people actually. A lot of people will say, no, 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 I'll never offer it to the next Neo. But like I'm like in the end, I'm like, well, I'm doing it, and
Why
I
does it
don't think
matter?
there's a
Yeah.
real risk there. But you'll hear a lot of people saying. So I was just purely curious on what your thought was. So the next thing I'd love to get into is so you obviously have a lot of green trees. Do you mind going over a bit what your collection looks like? Are you wild caught? Are you all captive bred? Are you all designers? Are you
Yeah.
all yellow neonates? Kind of going through what you keep. I imagine it's all yellows, but I'll let you speak on it.
Dom the comedian. This is great. No, yeah, man. I started my whole chondro collection off of imports. It's all I could afford at the time. I didn't come into this hobby with money. I was in a transition in life where, I went from living a lifestyle I didn't want to live no more, and was trying to become more of a civilian, and just didn't have a lot of money. But I, was obsessed with chondros. And so, yeah, it all started with imports, man. And which I'm happy, because you learn a lot working with imports. You realize, like, dude, this is nuts. Like, you're gonna get some fucked up ones. You're gonna get ones that you turn around, which are cool. But it's, I learned a lot, man. I will never take anything from what I learned with the imports. But goddamn, I'm so glad that era is over, because it's something else to deal with those things. But yeah, I would say, this wall right here, which I told you there's 16 adult females in these cages. What, 12 of them are imports, that I've had over the last 5, 6 years, 7 years. I mean, I told you I have Mimi. Mimi's right here paired up. She was a yellow neonate Biak, um, and she was my very first chondro. And she was an import. I got her from Underground Reptiles. Actually, no, I didn't. I got her off Craigslist, and the guy who I bought her from got her from Underground Reptiles. And so, yeah, dude, obviously after a while I realized, like, holy shit, like, these are a lot more enjoyable when you don't buy imports. Captive bred is the way to go. But I was lucky enough to get to the point where my imports gave me my own captive bred, which that's the long run. That's the long road right there, I'll tell you that much. That's the OG way to get into this game. But again, it was my only choice because I couldn't afford the designer stuff. I would drool and dream about the designer shit. Never thought I would get into it because how expensive it was. But yeah, dude, my when it comes to breeding right now, all my females for the most part are imports. They're all BX, all really nice looking BX. And yeah, dude, every girl that laid for me last year was a BX. And so, thinking of this year, the only girl I have that's going to be paired up is my pure monocory female. and everything else is pure BX, and they're imports. Next year I'll have some designer girls that will be ready, but this I'm still in that. I'm still literally working my foundation projects. I'm still that new into my projects where I'm just still getting clutches from the girls I've been raising for the last 7 years, which is great. I love that. I mean, because also I want, again, I'm working with stuff where I want my own line of things. I want my own, like my own piece of work out there where it's like a trap line or whatever. And the best way to do that is by working with imports or working with something that's a fresh locality. So yeah, dude, majority of my female adults are all imports that I've established over the last handful of years.
And what do you have, like really strong males, like strong
Yeah.
designer males you're putting to all these females? Or are you doing any pure breeding in there?
Yeah, so I have one. Well, I have the pure Biak locality that bred fish, which was a red dominant pure Biak male Suge Knight paired to Mimi. He didn't breed anything last year. I had him paired. I had him. He didn't sire anything last year. I had him paired up. But yeah, that's my only pure locality project I have is Suge Knight, my red dominant male, who he produces some really nice looking Biaks. But my biggest thing is he's red dominant, so he's important. And then when it comes to other males, yeah, do you have a Patrick Holmes Blue Deuce Watermelon designer male that's ready to go this year? I have Socrates's Optimus Prime to Fluttershy. Lex Luthor is his name. Then I have a fucking House of Blue male, Garrick from the House of Blue breeder male that's ready to go this year. So this is my first year where I have a bunch of fucking designer males lined up. Right now, actually, the one of the snakes that are locking up is a sickness bloodline male from Bill Stiegel, who's locking up my one of my pure BX right now. So yeah, the only I have all really potent males going to all my females this year, and I consider, even though he's a pure BX, he's a red dominant, and I consider that potent. You know, you're gonna get really nice looking red babies from a snake like Suge Knight. And again, I would like to prove fish out, man. If I could somehow make more high yellows that are red dominant like that look like fish, dude, we're on to something, you know. So but yeah, that's the reason why I feel like I have to pursue that pure BX project, just kind of at least prove that out.
Do you feel like Biak is one of the best like pure locality animals slash species to throw into a designer project just because of how like
Yes, I
cool
don't think I
normal
know.
Biak can be?
I know I know this. It is the best for sure. Okay, let's just say that you want to work with Reds. Reds is your fucking jam, dude. The only thing, okay, as far as wild card, great eaters, great fucking demeanor. No, I don't want to say great demeanor. Like just something with an attitude, man, and something that's strong. Biak is king. It's the strongest, most powerful locality out there. But I mean, it may not be the coolest for everybody. For me, it is. For me, it's the coolest. It's like saying like, oh, my favorite color is fucking this when someone else thinks this color is cooler. Like it's to each their own. But as far as what you can get, the wild card factor, pure BX, dude. You can't, come on. You just forget about it. There's no other locality out there.
You think the reason is that the species Biak is so different than the other one that the hybrids just cause just much more crazy phenotypes, or like much
No,
more? No.
I just think it's where they're from. I think like where they're found, they just have the food source. They just have like what it takes to be fucking beastie and mean. And maybe some of these other ones just aren't as. I mean, that's why you see BX are so much bigger than other snakes in the wild. You know, like BX are big. You know, so and there's other big localities out there too. Don't get me wrong, but I think, and I could be wrong. What's interesting is starting Thursday, I have a new series happening on Trap Talk where we're breaking down every subspecies in the green tree python game, like each chapter. So, it's like starting from chapter one, where I think we're doing Morelia azura. So, we're doing that one first and breaking down like what localities are in that subspecies, what to look for, why do they look the way they look, why are there yellows and reds, why are there not reds and only yellows, like with Arus and shit like that. So, and you know, and I'm still like wet behind the ears when it comes to stuff like that. You know, I'll be honest. Like I want to learn more about the locality, influence, and where these things are really coming from. Just like a lot of you other guys do. So that's going to be happening coming this Thursday, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just think from what I know so far, it's based off the demographic where BX are being found, and they're the superior. They're the superior locality with chondros.
I love that. I love the idea of what you're doing Thursday because I've been looking into importing for a while with green trees.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love and appreciate designer chondros, I want to go down the pure line, even though they're worth less money and they're not as cool. I love them that way.
I
But
mean,
it's been
a pure locality captive border bred's a still $1,500, $2,000 snake. Like that's a lot of money. Like that's why I feel like yeah, it's no designer $6,000, $7,000, but that's why has it got to be that much? It doesn't need to be
no,
that much. Like it's still worth the effort. And I feel like, dude, like there needs to be more affordable projects in the Conjo game. Like it's 100% needed. The pure locality stuff is so
hundreds.
needed right there.
No, I totally agree. And again, I'm doing it because that's my goal. Been moving always everything towards pure. I don't really keep any hybrids or cross species anymore in the Morelia world. So I know that's
Yes.
where I'm going. Geez, where the heck was I going with this? Yeah, so when I started researching everything about color, which one had red, which one has yellow neos, which one has both, and all that, it was really interesting because the deeper you went, a lot of it went into, well, when it's a red neo, the exporter will sell it as this type of locality, and if it's a yellow neo, it'll be that one. But if it's that locality of red neo, then they'll bump it up to the other locality. There was a lot of things that I started reading up on that made it really, let's just say, interesting on trying to pick or trying to decide which locality I should go with.
I think there's enough locality stuff already in the states to really starting projects with
We're
versus
not in the
imports.
States.
Huh?
We're not in the States. That's the issue.
Where are you from?
We're Canadians, man.
Oh shit! My bad. Oh yeah.
All good.
Well, okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, a little different than for you guys. But you guys,
It's
again, yeah, you guys are growing. I think it's getting bigger in Canada. It really
Oh
is.
yeah.
That's cool. Hey guys, how much time we have? Because I have to use the restroom really bad.
Yeah, I have to go too soon, but do we want to? Do we want to? What do you think, Dominic?
Sure. How much more you guys got?
I'm good to go for a while. Like we've been on for an hour and 35 minutes, so I'm not in a
Yeah.
hurry, and it's daytime, so I'm not in a hurry. But if you want to go to the washroom, go for it. We'll keep chatting.
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
write
I'll
out.
be right back. I only have 2 hours though, just so you guys know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got like
no
only
worries.
20.
We'll
Okay.
cap it at
Yeah,
All right,
that
I'll be right
sounds
back.
good. Well,
Thank you. Alrighty. Yeah, I think that's going
we can
fantastic.
definitely do 2 hours.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, man.
you want to hit like emeralds next, maybe?
I'm down to doing emeralds for a little while if you want to, because if he's got only about 20 minutes or so, emeralds would be a good topic to hit.
I think
Green tree wise, I
we'll have
mean,
to have him on again too, maybe sometime next year to recap his next season and where stuff's going. But
and discuss how he hits 100 animals this year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty. Yeah.
So while he's gone, anything new with you this week? We didn't go through the what's new with you.
Well, I'll have to get think of how I'm. I think I wish we did a lined up like a. I want to line up like a Steve Cush kind of episode to talk about moving a collection, but I think that's not going to happen in time. Uh, but yeah, I might have a new reptile room soon. I don't want to say too much yet, but yeah, I should. Life's going to change a bit, become a bit tighter in terms of financials, but all for the better. And long term, it'll be pretty cool, and hopefully, I can have an actual dedicated, proper snake room in the not too distant future, hopefully. But yeah, and then definitely keep the podcast going. I think you may have to take over for for one episode there with Shan, but everything should be
That should be
pretty
fine.
straightforward. Yeah, I think at the
Uh,
yeah you go.
I was gonna say I've moved my entire collection about 5 times. So, but I've never done big moves. All my moves were always like, half an hour drive maximum. So,
Yeah.
but I've moved my entire collection multiple times. So, and usually I've never had any issues. They were still good breeding years, nothing like that. But you're moving, or you're possibly moving from a province to another. So,
Yeah.
it's a pretty. How long of a move is that?
It's like probably a 13, 14 hour drive straight. So that's where it's like, do I rent the truck or do I borrow somebody's big trailer kind of thing, or do I use that pods or C-can thing, and if it's quick enough, like if the animals can only be boxed up for 2-3 days max kind of thing, like would that be okay kind of thing, right? Like so like that's where I'm
So,
having to
do
figure
you
out
have it?
which is the best option.
Do you have your own car?
Oh yeah, I have my own truck, but I can't
Yeah.
pull like I could. U-Haul doesn't rent out like a big enough trailer for me to fit everything, kind of thing. Like I have an
Yeah.
8 foot
I
bed,
was
so I
gonna.
can fit a lot, but it's like it would if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just do it all in one load instead of having to do like a second load in a half a year, kind
Yeah,
of
but
thing.
the thing is, you want to be able to keep everything warm, right? So your personal vehicle is the perfect
Oh yeah, yeah,
vehicle
yeah.
to move all the animals in, right? And then if you can do it with two people, like let's say you get Tyrone or Greg to come out to your place, you drive your pickup the 13 hours of all the animals in the warm thing, and you do it in one day. You just suffer. It's doable. And then let's say Tyrone or Greg drives the U-Haul right across. When you get to the new house, take out the animals, put them in one room, put on a space heater, put it at 82, whatever, leave the animals there, and then the next 12, 13, 14 hours, you're just setting up cages the entire day. And then you put the animals, and it can all be done within like a 24-hour window.
Yeah,
It sucks,
that was my
but
game
totally
plan. Other
doable.
than the thing is, when I would take possession would be when they're both in the Dominican on family vacation.
Well,
So
then,
I'd have to bug my dad or somebody to do that, or I somehow delay it like 2 weeks and then
yeah,
do the
just
big
move
move
two
then.
weeks later after when they come
Yeah,
back. Find yourself a good buddy. I'd help you, but you're kind of, I don't know,
across the country.
58 hours, 70-hour drive for me, so it's not happening.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think actually, yeah, MJ. One good podcast to do sometime this year would be a Steve Cush, Warren Booth, moving your collection across the country kind of thing. I think that would be a really
Yeah.
cool deep dive, even with
Yeah, shit's stressful, man. Moving snake. I mean, I was even when we moved here 3 years ago now. I only moved like 12 minutes over the hill, but it was so stressful and it sucked. It just was like, oh man, I can't imagine cross country. I really can't.
yeah. Like it's
But
only the
yeah,
next
dude, yeah,
province over, but it's still like 13,
nah,
14
man.
hours away through the mountains from that. So it's with a U-Haul, you're not
Different
probably
rooms.
can't go as fast as with my truck kind of thing.
Yeah, and a different room is a different room. So my biggest thing is like, how are the snakes going to handle being in a new room? Like, are they even going to breed? And so like, it took me a good 2 years to like even get dialed into this room. Um, and again, that goes back to like adjusting the heat panels and all that. But yeah, man, good luck with moving, dude. I wish you the best. It's anytime someone tells me they're moving, my heart sinks. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, fuck.
yeah,
Just because it's like you overthink and you worry. You love these things. You don't want nothing bad to happen, and so many things can happen. It's like fuck. It's
yeah.
pretty stressful.
The good thing about the one when I'm buying is I have room to expand in the future. Like the basement is pretty clean and bare, so I could eventually frame up some bedrooms
That's
down
cool.
there, kind of thing, and like frame up
That's cool.
bedrooms as in snake rooms, and then potential resale in the future. They become bedrooms and a living room down there, and I can kind of go from there. But I think it long term it'll be good. It's just that stress right now of trying to make everything work, kind of thing, is
I wish I had a
getting me.
basement, dude. Basements are like the best. I mean, Ed
They're
Marino
the
has a
best.
basement. Like, dude, basements are the best because you could really control anything that goes down there, especially the basements that have the window, like from the floor. Like they have like a just where you can see the floor from outside, like or the higher level. You know what I'm talking? Those basements that are like you see, what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The East
that's
Coast thing.
my
We don't have.
basement.
Yeah, we don't have that here in Cali. I wish I did because if I had a whole fucking bottom floor to do my thing, oh man, we would what holdback issues we have. I could hold back whatever I want, but yeah, that's a goal. We're looking to not looking, but we want to maybe want to buy a bigger place. Stressful to sound, but because San Diego's property just isn't cheap. But yeah, we definitely want to get more property if we can, just so I could get, dude, I miss having monitors. Like it was sad to get rid of all my monitors. Like monitors were like, I was pretty fired up with monitors, but again, like when it comes down to really wanting to be focused and get dialed in, the monitors should have their own thing. They should be away from the snakes, I feel like. And so I wasn't able to do that, so I had to pick one or the other. And it's chondros, emeralds over everything for sure. But someday, man, once I get back to it, if I can, I want my lace monitors back, and I definitely want tree monitors back in my life because those monitors are fucking next level, dude. They
Oh
just
yeah,
they just need so much room. They need so much room. So, but yeah,
Yeah, a lot of care too.
yeah, dude, a lot of
So
attention.
if you have a hard out around 2 hour mark, 2 hour, 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 2 ho how about we hit up emeralds just a little bit? So,
Sure.
do you mind if I just ask, what do you have in emeralds, and how do you keep them? Let's say compare them to green trees. What do you do differently?
So okay, the amount of like you want to know how many emeralds I have, or what you want to what do you want to know first?
You take it where you want to go, man. Just
All right. So I mean, I have a good sized group. I mean, it's hard. It's a touchy subject because I lost a couple females over the last couple years due to breeding. There were some pure Miss Willie females I got from Forrest Fanning after he passed away. So I've taken some crazy losses with the emeralds. But again, still doing good. You know, I think I have 2.6 adult northerns. So I have two males, and then I'm sorry, no, three males, and then I have well, actually, no, counting the two female babies, so 3.8. I have 3.8 on the northerns, and then with the basins, I have 1.2. So one male, two females, and then I have a 50-50 basin northern hybrid female. That's 6 years old. She's paired up right now. She's just for fun, you know, just to see what happens. But anyways, so yeah, that's my size group with the emeralds. And you could keep them similar. You could keep chondros and emeralds pretty similar. I will say emeralds do appreciate more heat. I don't want to say they need it, but from what I've had experience wise, more success with the emeralds, especially with breeding, is they need that basking. Chondros do not need basking. Okay, here's one thing that I'm going to drop for you guys. And not that this isn't new information, but you hardly ever see, or when do you ever see a chondro basking in the sun in the wild? Like, where do you ever see a chondro in the open? Like, as far as in the sun, daytime, getting all that heat. You don't. Chondros are hidden 24/7. They don't want to be seen. Um, and so, with that being said, basking isn't something that is a necessity for a chondro. They need the heat, but they don't need to bask. Basking is when you have a certain spot of the enclosure a lot hotter than the other part of the enclosure. Okay. So from what I see, that emeralds do appreciate basking. They like some sort of heat that makes them move at a certain point. So, and especially this is mainly with breeding, like when it comes to, like, after they're gravid and they're cooking fucking babies inside of them, they need to have something that they could be as warm as they need to be, and then they could be able to move it to something cooler. They need that gradient when it comes to having a litter, of course. But then again, I feel like every emerald could use this. So I give them basking from 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock, and I set the basking to like 92 and a half, like 90, 91, 92. Okay, is where I set the basking to. And I keep the probe right underneath the I keep the probe, actually no, I keep the probe right underneath the panel. So really what's putting on that perch and onto that animal, like if I were to temp gun that perch, it's about 88 on that perch. Okay. And so once 12 o'clock hits, that panel turns off. And then my goal in that enclosure for the majority of the day is 84 ambient. So I want to shoot for 84 ambient for the rest of the day from like 12 to like nighttime. And then once nighttime hits, again, they can appreciate a drop down to the low 70s, but they don't need it. I think 76, 77 nighttime is something they prefer, or they don't mind. And then right 8 a.m., they get that basking and it goes right back up. So overall, I think emeralds like it warmer. I think emeralds prefer it warmer than chondros on a night and day basis, but you could easily keep them the same. Breeding is different. Keeping, I think you could keep them identical if you really wanted to. Um, but you have to really see what's happening. Like, is your emerald shitting on a regular basis? Is it shedding good? Like, you got to look for signs that are letting you know this emerald's not acting normal. Because emeralds, unlike chondros, like they will hold on to their shit. They won't, if things are not the way they want it to be, they won't shit. They'll just hold on to it to the point where you have to take them out, put them on the ground, spray them with the hose, like almost stress them out to shit, which isn't, that can't be good for an animal, like having to stress the shit out of them. So I realized by giving them basking and giving them high humidity, and then a good ambient after the basking with the good amount of purchase for them to perch on, because I feel like giving them just one or two perches isn't going to cut it. Like, they need cross branches, they need multiple, I feel like, perches to like lay their bodies out. I think that's vital. So I recently went through an upgrade with my emerald caging. On that side of the room, all the emeralds are that's where they're at now. And they're in 4x2x4s. So 4 feet tall, 2D deep, and 4 feet across. Can I switch this around? Let's see. Does this flip around? Maybe it doesn't.
I'm not sure. It gets weird when you start changing stuff, I think.
All right, well, let me just show you guys this real quick. So how many of you guys could see these perches?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that post you did. Those things look awesome.
Yeah. So now all my emeralds, well, some of them. So there's my 50-50. But
That's so
giving them
beautiful.
giving them options like this, dude, they shit on a regular basis. They will shit about 5 to 6 days after they eat.
Do you find?
And before doing all this, I was literally having to take them off their perch and making them shit on their own, like 30 days to 2 months after they eat. So I'm like, that's not normal. And so once I did this small adjustment, well, not really small, but once I upgraded their enclosures and gave them better perches with that whole temp thing, that with the basking, dude, they shit regular, they shed good, and that's not what I'm used to keeping emeralds. I've been keeping emeralds like 1 year. I got about a year after I got my chondro, I got an emerald. So what, 8 years of keeping emeralds? I'm just now seeing how you don't need to spray as much, first and foremost, and you don't have to make them shit. They will shit on their own if you get it dialed in. And so that's where I'm at right now with the emeralds, man. They're finally getting dialed in. I don't know what breeding is going to be like in that. I hopefully it works. I got them to breed in this last year, 3x2x2s. And just seeing her ovulate in this, I was like, oh my God, that cage is way too small. So I already knew like I need to give them bigger enclosures. So yeah, so that's where that's at with the emeralds. Just yeah, you could keep them just like chondros, but when it comes to breeding, you're gonna have to switch something up, I feel like.
So you think that? So is it like the size of perches or the kind of perches you think? Because like obviously
The
with the chondros
options.
you got the PVC stuff, but it looks like with those you got a bit
Yeah,
more size difference and kind of they can choose where they want to go.
yeah, yeah, because emeralds need skinny perches, they need thick perches, they need options. They just need to have the option to perch on whatever the fuck they want to perch. Because they do it for whatever reason why they need to do it. I can't speak for an emerald. Again, this is all anecdotal, but I'm just going off my visual, what I'm seeing. And so um chondros, I also do think could benefit from perches like that. I really do. They just don't need it as much. Like my chondros have no problem shitting. I never have to take a chondro to stress it out to shit. It always shits on its own. Emeralds, I have to. So, and why that was, I mean, I don't know, but I fixed the solution, I feel like, because now I never have to take them out to make them shit. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be stressful if I had to deal with chondros like that.
It
Like
gets old,
oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's I know with the chondros too, right? Like they're like some guys breed them in racks, and how you see them in Indo, they're kind of in a more dark kind of racks or cages or however they do them there,
Yeah.
right? So like they seem to be a lot less kind of touchy, I guess you could say. Although, as we've seen with imports and stuff, they can still have issues. But like overall, like do you as a between chondros and emeralds, would you feel safer about getting imported chondros over imported emeralds based off your experience, or is it just a shit
Oh
show either
my,
way?
no, there's
Chondros,
no bigger of
yeah.
there's no bigger shit show than a fucking imported emerald. That is, or northern, okay, you can't get imported basins, but northern imports, dude. I used to always say it was a 50-50. Dude, it's 20-80 with an import emerald. And I'm not saying 80% good. It's 80% regurgitation. It's not going to end well. There's a well-known, highly respected reptile keeper out there who's done crazy shit work by the monitor, like good, not shit work, crazy good work with the monitors. And then he had this venture of wanting to get over, I think 30, I think 40 northern emeralds and keep them outside. They
Oh
all
yeah,
puke and died. Every
he's
I
coming
think
on in a
we,
couple weeks.
yeah, he's coming on to our podcast, and I want to talk to him about that. I'll withhold the name just in case, but he's
yeah,
said it on podcast. So I think it's pretty
yeah,
open out there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I actually want
It's
to
terrible.
ask him. And pardon me.
Yeah, it's terrible. It sucks.
Yeah,
It was like he was talking about all this when it was all started on my show. Like he was like, yeah, he was like literally spilling the beans about his whole new adventure with this. And I'm sitting there just like, God damn. And he already told me some of them were puking. I'm like, it's over. And like he had really high, oh God bless his heart, but he had really high hopes that the pukers were going to turn around, and it just not never it's going to happen, dude. A puking emerald is a dead emerald. It needs to hit the freezer. There's no turning it around. It's over. Once they puke, and even captive born and bred, which is scary, dude. If the captive born and bred emerald pukes on you, like even with basins, bro, it's over. It's not good.
Have
They
we
something
figured
happened.
out? Have we figured out the what is causing it, or do we have an idea?
Yeah. It's the damage to the stomach lining. Like, so when they basically, I mean, you could get lucky and they could puke where it doesn't do too much damage, but majority of the time, these rats, when they're getting repuked up, they're fucking ripping out lining in the stomach and just tearing, like their stomach goes from being able to expand where it can't expand anymore. And if you try to make it expand, it pushes it back up. So, and again, this is just from what we are trying to understand, but I think it's the sensitivity of the way that the emeralds are developed, like their digestive system, like they just cannot recover. It's kind of like how chondros don't recover well off prolapses. Like it's not a good chance a chondro is going to fucking make it from a prolapse. It's less than 50-50, I feel like. um
So,
it's the
so
same
two
shit.
questions on that. Then, wouldn't just abstaining from feeding the emerald for, let's say, 4 or 5 months automatically give him a chance to heal or to reduce that acidity content,
You
which
would
is my
think,
number. That's what I would think. And then the second
but
thing is
no.
obviously restart with small preatom and restart. And even I imagine that's been tried, right?
Yeah, because first and foremost, you shouldn't underfeed an emerald. Emeralds could handle really big meals. My females eat large rats. Zero issues. Okay. My raise ups, bro, are on wean rats right now. Like I have fucking they can handle really, really big meals. So there's no issue there. You know, like there should be no reason why an adult emerald are eating mice because it's puking. And a lot of people are like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna feed it a bunch of small, because here's the thing, you can feed it a small prey item, but try to double up that prey item. So like let's say you fed a small rat to an emerald, it pukes it up. And let's say you wait 30 days, where technically the rule is anything that pukes due to whatever reason, you give it 30 days, like at least 1 month to like settle down. And you do that with ball pythons, do it with anything that pukes, or ticks, anything that pukes, give it 30 days, let the stomach rejuvenate, right? Um, there's been plenty of people who've gone 3 or 4 months without feeding an emerald just to give it time, and then they refed again, boom, puke. And what happens a lot is people feed it a real small meal and they won't see a puke. And then they'll, right when they try to bump it up. Okay, I've had somebody who kept emerald on small mice or whatever for like over a year, and once I convinced them to give it the proper size meal, it puked it up. So what does that tell you? That's you're basically trying to shadow the issue here. You know what I mean? There's no reason why that snake should be eating small mice at an adult stage. And if it's because it puked, that means it's fucked up. There's something wrong with it. It's not meant to be here if that's the case. You know what I mean? So, dude, yeah, I've been. It's a good thing about why I've have this opinion is because I've been working with emeralds, imported emeralds for over 7 years now, and I have a lot in my freezer. I've seen this shit firsthand. I've had I've had plenty of conversations with friends who were telling me what I'm telling you now, and I told them I don't think so. I think it's going to be fine. I've been that delusional before, for sure. So, and that's another reason why I have such a strong opinion on this, because I was that delusional person for good handful, 2-3 years, like thinking a puker does not need to go to the freezer. But dude, a puker definitely goes to a freezer now for sure,
So
100%.
I don't keep emeralds, right? So I love them. I'd love to have them, but I probably will never get into them because I'm just used to eggs, and things that don't lay eggs to me is not normal. So I'll probably stay away from them. Um, I'm still curious though, and it makes me wonder if you could almost treat them like humans, right? If there was more that was studied into them, because I mean, when you get a
Yeah,
human, you take Panalock, or you could take a lot of basic things. There's a lot of things you could do to fix your stomach lining. It almost
yeah,
makes you wonder if there would be I want to say, scientific approach or a way that could be tested to fit, like, and I'm going to throw
yeah,
wild
probably.
ideas, like imagine filling the prey with yogurt, or filling the prey with Pantalock, or doing things like that would change the acidity content inside the And I wonder if there was any type of studies or any type of research done if it could be something as simple as your animal pukes, do this and this, it fixes their stomach lining, and then you're good to go,
Well,
right?
remember well, I don't I just said his name, but remember
He-
he was really he was really his biggest theory was that the rodent feed. It was the rodent feed that was causing the emeralds to puke. So he was dedicated to a whole fruit fucking veggie diet for his whole all his ASFs, which he was really like, and he's like, I'm feeding the ASFs and they're not puking. Well, it's an ASF, dude. Feed it a rat. Like, and again, raise up rats on this diet and then feed a rat. And so, but then I heard eventually the ASFs were getting puked at one point, which again, there's no solution to it, man. You could get away with it for only so long until that one um, occurrence where it's like, oh, here we go again. And man, trust me, dude, I've had I think it was almost 13 months I had a puker go without puking, and I thought I was out of the clear. Like I literally thought I was out. And it I don't remember what I did, dude. I gave it something different finally once, and sure enough, puked. And I was so fucking just over it at that point. So yeah, dude, it's who knows? You're right. I mean, these things haven't been worked with that much where we know that much. I mean, hopefully in the future we could have studies like this done. But for me, my study is don't work with imports. Stay away from them. Work with captive bred, and you won't ever have to work with a fucking situation like that unless you have a panel malfunction after you fed, or if it's something user air wise, well, that's on you. But dude, I have not. Trying to think. The last time I ever had an emerald puke on me was in 2021, and that's when I was getting imports. So ever since then, bro, I've never once have I smelled a fucking regurg, thank God. And dude, that smell does not leave you. Once you smell that smell, it sticks with you forever, dude. It really does. And so, yeah, I love that I could just fucking man, smell your room is everything. And that's one thing I'm obsessed with is I go into my room, I smell it, and that's how I make sure everything's okay.
So is it one final question here? Is it? Do you think it's how you approach the animal when it comes in, kind of thing? Do you think it's more like you need to hydrate them and just get them
No,
relaxed for like a month or two, and then hit them
nope,
with that
nope.
big meal, or no?
What do you mean? Like as far as this, like
Like
like establishing an
like
import?
establishing an import and quarantining it. Like, do you think it's more
Yeah,
of
no.
how you approach that part of it?
This is what I recommend. Okay. If you get an import, you quarantine it first and foremost. And let's say it's an adult emerald. Let's say you get a big emerald, right? You better fucking feed that thing a small rat. You better feed that thing an appropriate size meal. And first and foremost, better hope it eats. Okay. And if it eats, you better pray in 5 days you don't smell anything, because you want to hurry up and find out if the snake has it or not. There's no like, oh, it's about the approach. No, it either has it or it doesn't have it, because they're coming in fucked up already. There's nothing happening here that's making them puke. They're already pukers coming in. That's what I'm saying. So there's nothing you can
Oh, okay.
do like red carpet wise, or oh, let me give you bubbled water. Like, no, dude, they're fucked. They're already fucked from the begin with. And there's no
but
fixing it.
you don't think they're coming in crazy stressed out, right? They've gone through the worst couple
Oh,
of
they're
weeks of their
stressed.
life being imported. So wouldn't
Yeah.
hydration, leave it the fuck alone for 3 weeks, then feed
Yeah.
it, be smarter?
No, hell, not for me. In my opinion, what I do is I want to see what kind of animal this thing is. I want to see if it eats. And I'm not aggressively approaching it to eat. I'm just trying to see if it's down to eat. Okay. So again, let's rewind. If I were to let's say I got a fresh import emerald, I put it in quarantine. It's this time right now because it's the afternoon. At nighttime, I'm going to go check on that animal. And if that animal is S position down and it wants to eat, fuck, I'm gonna wait for. I want to get that thing to eat, and so I'll get it to eat. Now, mind you, let's say it's not S position down, and I'm just curious. Well, then okay, it doesn't hurt to thaw out an animal or thaw out a rat and just get it real hot and see if it even wants to even fuck with it. If it tucks its head away and it gets real tight, all right, we're not going to approach this for another few weeks. We're going to leave it alone. In that case, Dom, I leave that thing the fuck alone for a good few weeks. But I always want to see what its demeanor is about when I first get it. And sometimes, like the animal will let you know, like, "Hey, I'm hungry. You got anything?" And with an emerald, all I want to know is, can you digest a meal? That's all I give a fuck about with an emerald. So my biggest thing is get a meal in it right away. Leave it the fuck alone, and just pray you don't smell anything within the next 4 to 5 days. because it's that day 4, day 5 mark, 4 or 5. Once you get past a week and there's no puke, you should be good. I've had pukers puke over a week, and that's not normal. Usually 7 days is the mark where okay, you can breathe, you're okay. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's literally like clockwork. It really is. So again, you could try it, dude. It's just, dude, you're good luck. I mean, you're more likely going to be like MJ, you're right, versus like, I'm not right.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thanks MJ for coming on. It's been awesome to
Yeah,
have you.
man.
I definitely I feel like I was like kind of like Adam, where it was like, should I reach out to him or not, or should I wait for like 2 years until we're like really established or not? But yeah, no, it was
No, man.
great chatting with you, man. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Michael. Thank you, Dom. You guys keep at it, and yeah, we'll do this again soon. Again, sorry, I only had 2 hours, bro, but I'm at the busiest time of year for me right now, and so I'm glad I at least got this time to chat with you guys. Felt good to do a podcast that's not my own. So thank you for the invite.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I love what you do. I love what you produce. So really, really cool of you to donate 2 hours to us. Do you
Yeah.
want to just maybe throw out your contacts, your podcasts, any information out there for everybody before we close it out?
Yeah, guys, please. So, on YouTube, all major audio platforms, Trap Talk Reptile Network. If you want to hear some really good reptile content, please go after it. You can follow me on Instagram, Trap Talk 619. If you really want to get to know me better and know exactly what's happening with my projects before anyone else, come join my Patreon. Okay. It's patreon.com/the Trap Talk podcast. So yeah, again, thank you for your time, guys. And we should definitely do this again.
Awesome, thank you. Just maybe stay on for a second just to make sure it
Sure.
uploads, and then we're all good. All right, Dom, close it out.
Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for hopping on, especially if you're live. If you're watching it later, appreciate it. It should come out next week. If anybody wants to get a hold of Michael, it's Michael Gillian on Facebook. For myself, Dominic Cabano on Facebook, or Dom's Reptiles on Instagram. And for the podcast, it's Reptile Rejects on Instagram and on YouTube and all that kind of fun stuff. Click those buttons, subscribes, all those fun stuff. And to everyone, thanks for logging on. MJ, again, thank you so much for coming on. And everybody, have yourself a good night.
All right, guys. Thank you.